You are listening live to the program. Your teams, your town, your program.
Highest of highs, lowest of lows, really, in the same game.
Yeah, it was good to see him out there after going through, you guys saw him jogging in and out of the huddle, and I think he felt good. He got to stay in the huddle and actually do a play. I mean, he had that one quick trigger on the rocket screen, which was nice. Other than that, he really didn't get a lot of action. But I think for him, it was just good to be out there, get the pads on.
When you have a great run game, it opens up things down the field because it tends to have people play closer to the line of scrimmage. And the thing that we need to make sure that we're focused on is making sure that we can all get on the same page and continue to build everything as we want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the best case scenario is, honestly. I mean, never came off an injury like this, never had been in this situation before. So all I can do is prepare myself the best way I can, and that's just getting the most out of every single day and staying on top of the rehab process as well as going out there and practicing at a high level. And so I think if I do that, whenever that opportunity comes, I'll be ready to go.
And now, a man who always gets the most out of every day, Seren Petro.
Right you are, Kay. Right you are. Petro in the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you for joining us here on a kind of coming a little overcast. We got rain in the forecast? I don't know. Do we? Could be. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we're just getting some of that summer haze here. Enjoying the final warm days. We've got a few more of them. We can see September. It's next week. It's a week from today.
Boy, it's a little air is a little closer than it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's a little warmer. It was beautiful this morning if you got up early.
Yeah.
66, I think, maybe, when we got things started today. Anyway, hope you're enjoying the warm weather. We're getting closer and closer to football season. We got a lot of football talk coming your way today. Just put the sheets that have been given to me where they need to go. Is that for him? What is the second one for on that?
I don't know.
I'll take this one that has my lunch stains on it. Well, I stained both. Sorry.
That's all right.
There you go.
Trust me, there'll be something on mine.
It's going in the recycle in 4 hours anyway. Live with it, people. Live with it. Coming up later today in the 5 o'clock hour, it's Tuesday. That means in the 5 we like to talk college athletics. Our college football insider, Shahan Jeyarajah, will be with us. Best dressed man in sports media, near as I can tell.
Yep.
He can pull it off.
He can too. Everything looks cool. He's got cool hair.
Yeah.
He's just a stylish dude.
He's a stylish dude. Sam McDowell, he'll be here.
He's
I don't have any style.
He wears clothes.
He wears a medium.
He wears clothing.
He wears a medium. He has a style.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hip.
True.
I'm sure it's hip to his demo.
His style is wearing shirts I could have worn when I was 6.
You had, let's be honest, you had dull shirts that were bigger than the ones that Sam wears.
Probably, I every once in a while, let's look at what he's wearing, and I think of how old I was the last time I could have worn that. And usually it's somewhere around 1st or 2nd grade. Maybe 3rd grade.
In the 3 o'clock hour, we're laying out our college football predictions. The SEC standings. You can take this to the bank, people. The Big 12 standings. We are also going to have our playoff bracket. Will be in there. We have our Heisman Trophy winners. Biggest coach fired, biggest coach to get hired.
I left my answers on those two.
What do you love your answers, or you left them?
I love them.
Oh, okay, good. Mine. Who's going to get fired? I think is pretty obvious. The biggest name to be fired.
Yep, mine probably isn't the one that I haven't seen yours.
Let me, Kyle. I know you're busy doing 19 things as we.
I get the
take
feeling
off here.
Just for a Dolly Parton song, Fire Away.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, and I know you got to pick up all the pieces that Darcy left all over the floor in there.
Yeah.
You know, there's always cleanup duty after,
clean up.
After meathead, heads out. Oh, hey, Darcy didn't see you back there. My bad. No, they have like a million things they have to do right when the show opens. So Kyle always loves it when I go, hey, Kyle, grab the mic. Come on, stop doing the million things.
Shift change is always an event.
Both those guys do a really good job.
If you're watching on the feed, the most entertaining thing that happens every day here is the shift change in that room.
Yeah.
Sometimes the shift change in here can be kind of interesting, but it's always fun in there.
Yeah. Don't you think there's an obvious biggest name coach fired?
I think there is.
In the Big 12?
No, in college football for our predictions we got coming up.
I think there is.
Didn't you? There was one name that I'm like, it's overwhelming, the name that would be on that list. That's likely. That is being listed as on a hot seat everywhere.
Well, it's not Brent Venables. That I know.
It's not Brent Venables. He's not listed on anybody's hot seat.
All right, good.
So I guess it's not as obvious as I thought. Well, then I'll just leave it to myself. I think it's pretty obvious.
I think it is, but I thought I'm going to find something different from that guy, and I'm going to do something else, which, if it's the guy I think of, could be related to him.
Oh, Kalen DeBoer? Is that who you're talking about?
No.
Oh.
But that's not bad. He might be second or third, but
Yes.
even then, I don't think having just been given a contract extension, he's really
Is he on
in threat. But if he goes 4-8, there could be a revolt and they could run him. So that would be, and we try to do this, it's about the biggest name fired.
Is he on to Virginia?
He would be on to Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy'd be
Oh,
on to Virginia.
Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Bill.
And now I know mine is definitely related to yours,
Okay, because
but in a fun way.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because Belichick's the obvious no-brainer for the biggest name coach to be fired.
Yeah.
He's the biggest name coach in college football, isn't he?
Probably so.
I guess you can make a case for Dabo Swinney or Kirby Smart with multiple championships and everything. That no, they've won 2 in college football. Bill's a NFL has-been. Sure, he's a legend, but we're talking. Okay, I guess I'd listen to that, but I didn't try to overthink that one. I'm like, he's getting fired. I do have a bold and daring prediction involving him, though, in the nature in which it happens.
Interesting. Do I do, and here's my bold and daring.
We're doing this at 3, so
I know,
don't start.
but should if my bold and daring is a repeat of something that it has to do with,
I would get a new
the
one.
hired and fired on Cal.
I need to find one
I'll
more
think of a
bold and
different
daring. Yeah, because I found I've got like one of my bold and darings, and maybe I'll even drop this one, but it deals with how Belichick gets it.
Interesting. Don't drop that. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's not. But I'm going to spice it up.
Okay.
I'm going to add layers to it.
Cool.
As to how it goes. But yeah, that'll be one of my bold and daring predictions. But SEC, Big 12, playoff bracket, Heisman Trophy, biggest coach fired, biggest coach hired, and we've all got 5 bold and daring predictions. And I have assigned, whether they like it or not, Todd Leabo and Blair Kirkhoff this task. So in future days, we'll be able to talk with them about it as well.
Y'all.
So that's the lineup, people.
I like it.
Let's hear some Chiefs football. The Chiefs at the podium as they continue to get ready for their final preseason game on Friday night.
Yep.
What time is that game? On Friday night, I'm trying to think
7.
what dinner I have in Vegas.
Pretty sure it's 7.
Whether I'll be knee-deep in credit card roulette.
7 bells Central Time.
Going, don't grab, we do last card on credit card. Do you play credit card? You're probably not old enough, Kyle. Everybody, you're crapping about your part of the bill, let alone picking up the whole check for like 8 people, right?
And I don't have a credit card.
All right, we're done with that. So I can't top that. Mic drop. That's it. Me babbling on about credit card roulette cannot top.
Part of the reason I don't have a credit card is because I had one.
That is like because I watched the Martin Short documentary, just a sidebar. If you like comedy, if you like Martin Short, do you even know who Martin Short is?
Yeah, him and Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve
Legends.
Martin. Okay, yes, they are legends. They are legendary comedic people. Martin Short is one of the most effervescent, upbeat guys ever. It is stunning how much tragedy has been in his life.
I know.
Like, I had no idea till I watched this documentary, and continues even right up to like the thing ends, and we didn't even have a chance to get in these deaths, right? So it is amazing.
Yeah.
How did I get to that? Where did that come out of?
Credit.
Oh, the credit card. So in that, I was watching that, and they play one of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits of all time, where it's Harry Shearer and Martin Short, and they're being interviewed because they are going to enter the 1988 Olympics in men's synchronized swimming. And they go through, part of the bit is like, it's not even an Olympic event right now, but we think it's going to be. And at one point, Martin Short plays this guy who's just completely brain dead. And at one point, during the middle of it, he's like, it's not even a sport, but that's okay because, we could use the time to practice. He goes, I'm not that strong a swimmer.
It's so perfectly executed. I'm not that strong swimmer.
You going, I don't have a credit card.
Because
I
had one.
That's it. That's it. That's the mic drop moment.
I used that, I think I used something like that clip a couple of years ago when Kingsley was struggling. I'm not that strong a pass blocker. I could use the time. Martin Short is, I don't know how many people you want to put on the list, but the funniest people that's ever lived. I mean, the characters, I mean, the Jiminy Glick stuff.
The Jiminy Glick stuff
the
is
quickness
hysterical.
of his wit is just ridiculous.
Yeah. But anyway,
He literally can make anyone laugh.
I watched it the other night, and it's worth the watch. I'm gonna tell you, not because there are some funny moments where they detail different parts in his career. There are definitely some funny moments, but just finding out what all the guy's been through, you're like, oh wow, how the hell is? And I'm bitching about this.
Right.
Maybe I should get over my crap. It'll make you think. Anyway, let's talk some Chiefs football. The fellas at the podium today. Let's start with Eric Bieniemy. I thought this was pretty interesting. You highlighted this one, Curtis, and I agree. Eric Bieniemy was asked. We'll get into what he says afterwards. I'm not going to over set it up. Isn't there a better way to put it? Over set it up. That's about second grade English ever. I'm terrible at English, but
that description of it wasn't wonderful.
I'm not going to over set it up.
I'll think about that while we listen to Eric. I'll say this.
Did you mean oversell it?
Yeah, well, no, because I think it's good. I think you're going to like it when it comes in, but just like sometimes I find myself, I'm rambling on about, and they're like, and then I just told you, a million things in the background, and then I pretty much told you what he's going to say, and then I go, here he is. It sucks. So like I don't want to I'm not going to overbuild it. I'm not going to now, but I think it's good. I think it's compelling.
Just do the throw.
And we probably should.
Eric Bieniemy talks about credit cards.
Before we get to this, one of my favorite moments is in a documentary about which goes along that lines, the documentary about the Wrecking Crew, the session musicians from the 60s and 70s. Two people are, one of the women who's a bass player, she's she goes, oh, Hal, tell my story about when so-and-so and so-and-so, and this guy came in and so-and-so and so-and-so, and blah, blah, blah. He goes, you just told it.
Yeah. Well, even better, that hits closer to home, was way back in the day, early days of us being over here at 810, and Nate Bukaty was stringing for KU football for ESPN, so he was the guy like on, like their college game day radio show. I don't know. I don't think they do it. They don't do it anymore. They used to like go, all right, we've got a big one going in Knoxville, Tennessee, number 4 in the country, taking on number 7, Georgia. Let's go down. Steve Jones is there. Steve, what's going on? Well, down here we got a 14-10 game. Tennessee jumped out to a 14-0 lead. It looked like it was going to be all balls. We had, they give a little report and recap the game, and then, all right, back to you, Mel. And Mel Kiper was one of the guys who does it. And I love Mel. I worked a number of times with Mel, and he's great. He's a top shelf guy. I really enjoy working with him. Very bright on lots of subjects too. So Mel goes, they're getting ready to go, and I think it was probably the Mark Mangino Jayhawks. I think Kansas was pretty good. Otherwise, I don't think they'd have been going to it. It's like, let's go to Lawrence, Kansas, and Mel was doing the throw. Let's go to Lawrence, Kansas. We've got the Jayhawks, number 18 in the country, taking on Nebraska. And, man, the running game's been going for the Jayhawks. 157 yards in the first half, a couple of touchdowns for Joe Smith, and it's been a big game. Their defense has been stellar, held Nebraska only 40 yards. Nick Buckley, tell us all about it. And what always gets talked about is that Mel Kiper called Nate Bukaty Nick Buckley. Right? That's what's had the legend amongst all of us that we talk about. Is we'll call him Nick Buckley. Yeah, we'll call him Nick Buckley because and Nate does a decent amount. Well, Nick Buckley, tell us all about it. I just did Keith Jackson, but he does a better Mel Kiper.
Funny.
When he tells the story about it. And the first time Nate was telling us about it, like that Monday afterwards, he's like, well, you kind of said it, Mel. He's like, literally, like everything I had in front of me that I was going to ramble off, Mel had said and thrown it to me.
Yep.
You got it, Mel. Back to you.
Mel?
I love that one. That's one of my
Tell us
favorites.
about it, Nick Buckley.
I'm just some blanking guy. And then throw it back.
I'm just some blanking guy.
Yeah.
That's a good callback.
That's great. Anyway. All right. So, without overdoing it
which is
on
very
the
much
throw.
like we did more in not overdoing it than if we would just you would have just overdone it.
I hope you
But it was
chuckled
funny.
in your car, because if you're like, that's not funny, then I've opened falling out of the gates.
At least a chortle, maybe a guffaw.
All right, let's get to it. Rashee Rice. Eric Bieniemy was asked what he likes about Rice.
First of all, Rashee is a very good player. His overall resume has spoken for itself. The thing I'm trying to get to know, and we're still working through this, is getting to know the person. To see the things that make him click. What are the things that inspire him? What are some of the things that that he loves to do off the field? It's all about building relationships with people. And so the thing that I love about Rashee, first and foremost, he's tough. He's very, very tough. Another thing, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, he's hard-headed. You know what I mean? And he's stubborn because he feels that he's good enough at certain things. And I like that because you got to get him to see it from a different point of view. And when he can see it from a different point of view with a set of different eyes, now it opens up his brain. And I mean, it's you can see it resonate. And so those are the things that I've learned about him. Now it's just about making sure we can get the continuous reps to get him back on track, to get him in game shape, because we have to get it right.
All right, he covered a lot of ground there, but I'm with you, Kay. I think this is a really interesting cut there. You want to take first take? I wrote down about 12 things. So
I first thought, every time I hear it, as soon as he goes, his career speaks for itself. I go, eh?
I mean, it does.
It kind of does, but not in the way I think he means. And it's I'm saying this is a good thing. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. He's stubborn. He's hard-headed.
Well, give me the good part of stubborn and hard-headed. How is the trait of being stubborn? The hard-headed part, I mean, good luck if you can get the hard-headed part, because there really is no positivity around the hard-headed. The stubborn part, I think
they're pretty close to the same thing.
They are,
distinctions.
But I think stubborn can be set over to the side, and you can paint it in a positive. Like, I will tell you this. Roy Williams was stubborn in not wanting to call timeouts.
Yeah.
Roy Williams was stubborn, and he wanted a couple of guys to clean the glass, and he wanted everybody else to run. He was stubborn in the sense that they were going to run against whoever they played.
Mm-hmm.
He was stubborn in the sense that this is how I want to play, and we're going to play it regardless. And so we're going to drill it, we're going to recruit to it, we're going to do it. And, there were some games where that stubbornness, if he'd had more flexibility and versatility, he may have lost some games because of it. But he probably won a lot more because he drilled it, he worked it, he recruited it, he did everything for it, and it was the style they wanted to play, and everything was put towards playing that way. Yeah. And he probably exceeded expectations because of that. So his stubbornness in, this is how we're going to play. His stubbornness, the great story that Gary Parrish tells about Roy Williams being the last guy at the Peach Jam when the second-tier teams are out there, and he's the only guy. Gary looks around the stands, and he's the only big-name coach in there, and he goes over to him and says, "Coach, why are you still sitting here?" He's like, "Well, you never know what might be there." He's like, "Come on, Roy, all the big teams are gone. They're not here." And he said, "Listen, if I got great talent, I know I'm a pretty good coach. If I don't have great talent, I don't want to find out what I am. So I'm going to make sure I got great talent, and we're not going to miss on anybody." That's stubbornness.
Yeah.
Like, in all likelihood, how many kids over the years did he see in that second-tier group of teams that he was watching that he ever ended up recruiting? There might be one or two. Were they the difference maker? Maybe there were none, but he wasn't going to let there be a first.
Nope.
I don't know what it is, but that's where I think stubbornness.
Committed to the plan. This is what I believe, and I'm committed to it. I'm not going to waver from it.
There
you
can
have
be
to be somewhat stubborn.
Yeah, there can be positivity to it. Now, listen, Roy's spending more time on the tape learning how to be a different style team as opposed to the hours and hours of watching kids that probably have no chance of being good enough to play for you. Might have made him more diverse. There might have been. I mean, I think the stubbornness, there is a negative connotation to it. It's not if you're stubborn about something, it's not like, oh, that's all great. That's all good. I just gave you an example of how the stubbornness can pay off.
Yeah.
You can channel it and it can work, but you're still being stubborn. There is an element of like, okay, Roy, you've put 80, 100 hours a summer into watching kids that have almost no shot. And now, you could have put that 80 to 100 hours into something else, or, they're the stubborn, but I can give you the stubbornness as a positive. But I don't see what about Rashee Rice is he stubborn about. I'm not around him all the time. Eric Bieniemy is, and the coaches that have been with him for the last few years definitely know more. But I don't know what about him that's stubborn that I would try to explain to you how that could be a positive.
Yes.
Okay? So I think you got truth serum there from Eric Bieniemy. He's stubborn and he's hard-headed. And the fact that he added hard-headed onto it on top, then he put some spin on it. I'm going to tear the kid down a little bit. Here's a critique of him. But I'm going to build him back up and say, but that, I mean that in a good way. I illustrated how it could be a good way. I don't know how it's a good way with him. Not with everything that goes with him.
And his example, his explanation of it didn't sound like something that was good.
No, but here's what I did like. Here's what I did think was intriguing. And again, where I say I like the term truth serum on this, because he said he's hard-headed, he's stubborn. He said the key is to get him to see it in a different light. Right? So to me,
through different eyes.
I'll give you a stubborn. Lynn Dickey told me a story once a long time ago that not long after he was out of the game, there was a quarterback named Heath Schuler who went like number 5 in the draft to the Commanders. He was a Tennessee Volunteer, 5, 6, or 7. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he went a little later, but he was definitely a first-round pick of a quarterback. And he was one of those big, strong, rocket arm guys that, pretty good at college, but too many interceptions or whatever. And the agent, I don't know if it was Lynn Dickey's old agent from when he played or who, but asked Lynn Dickey to work him out and give him some critiques and get him better. I don't know if it was for the combine or just going to practice. And Dickey said, okay, let's just warm up and we'll throw the ball back and forth. And Dickey's throwing it and he's hitting him right in the hands every time. And Schuler's throwing it and he's having to catch one over here and then catch one over there and then bend down and get one. And he goes, all right, hold on. Listen, I want you to pick a spot on me. And I want you to tell me what that spot is, and I want you to throw the ball there. And he goes, well, what do you mean? He said, well, say my left shoulder, my right shoulder, my chin, my left knee, and put the ball there. And he goes, what does it matter if it gets there? That's stubborn and hard-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, and Lynn Dickey's like, all right, this kid's going to suck. And he did.
And he was right.
Okay? Now, I don't know if Lynn kept working with him and found a way. I've only heard that part of the story. I don't know how the throwing session ended or how much work he did with him after that. But it was so telling of what Heath Schuler's career ended up being. He was not an accurate passer, and you could see why. He couldn't even warm up accurately. He was half-assed in the warm-ups. So if you
not trying to get better.
Yeah, if you could take Heath Schuler and be like, listen, I want to show you why. This is why I need you to hit the left shoulder. Here's a throw in a video cut-up of Patrick Mahomes, where the only place this is going to be completed is if he goes right there. Here's a throw with this, and you need to become pinpoint. You need to be able to put it. Here's Aaron Rodgers on a back shoulder throw. Look how that guy is covered. He's draped. But Aaron knows if I put it up here, only my guy can go get it, and they get a 15-yard complete. This is why it's important. This is what I need you to see.
Here's a crossing route where the guy doesn't break stride, and because of that, he's able to not be tackled from behind by the guy covering him, and he's allowed to beat somebody else.
Here are 10 cut-ups from you at Tennessee of guys that are wide open that have to go down to the ground and get the ball where they could have kept running and scored a touchdown, and you limited it to a 12-yard game because you can't keep the ball off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's getting him to see through another light. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Like, Rashee Rice is stubborn or hard-headed. Eric Bieniemy and Chad O'Shea are working with, like, listen, here's why you're not creating any separation. Right? Yeah, Pat's threading the needle to you on these slants, but there's still a guy draped on you. And if you can get him to believe outside, this is what I want you to do. I want you to release with this, and then I want you to work this swim move technique where you come back underneath, and now you've got him going the wrong way. You even give him a little nudge, a little push off, but it looks like it's just part of the swim and the change of the arms. That creates even more separation. Now we've got you catching the ball. You're 2.5 yards clear. Now instead of gaining 6 extra yards after the catch because you're strong and the guy's already tackling you as you're catching the ball, now he's not catching you for 8 yards, and then he gets you and you run for those other 6 yards. You've now gained 14 yards. That's 10 more yards added to your tally. That's going to get you paid.
Just look at the play on the game-winning drive in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. 3rd and 6. The Niners bring it. They don't lay back. They bring it. This is when Tony Romo goes, oh, they shouldn't have done that. And Mahomes hits Rice across the middle in a crossing pattern, puts it right on his hands. Because it was there and he made the right move, and instead of being, as you said, tackled by the guy who was right behind him, he manages to get the first down to extend the drive. He didn't even have to think of a hypothetical. Just look at one of the biggest plays he's made so far as a Chief.
Yeah, he feels good enough. It's one of the things he said. He feels good enough. I mean, like, if you thought he feels like he's good enough to get paid, do you think Rashee Rice is trying to be the highest paid receiver in football? Do you think Rashee Rice is trying to break all of Jerry Rice's records? Because I don't. He's good enough. He used the term good enough. He is. He's good enough to play wide receiver in the NFL. Tyreek Hill didn't want to be good enough. Tyreek Hill wanted to be great. For all his baggage and crap, Tyreek Hill wanted to be great. Tyreek Hill went to the Pro Bowl, and a Pro Bowler called him a kick returner. And he said, screw that.
Return specialist.
Yeah, return specialist. He said, screw that. I'm a wide receiver, and I'm going to play it at a high level. And he was one of, if not the best wide receiver in football for a number of years. Rashee Rice, I'm gonna get paid. I'm going to get 10, 12, 15, 20, 16, 18 million. I'm going to get a lot more than I got right now and a lot more than most people have. That's good enough.
And I don't understand how being hard-headed or stubborn makes it easier for, like the one thing that Bieniemy talked about, seeing it through different eyes. How is that facilitated better by someone who's stubborn or hard-headed? It's the opposite
it's
to
not.
me.
It's not better, and I think he's saying that's the challenge.
Oh, I guess
that's what he's.
But he almost it sounded to me like he was trying to say that works well because of this.
No,
I was like,
no. I think it was he hurt himself. Like I said, I put it. He hurt himself. The stubborn and hard-headed was okay. That's a good thing. Like if I'm to break it down, and I'm speculating obviously on this, but that's a good thing. Was like that sounds harsh. Let me soften that. It has no role in it. He's hard-headed.
That makes sense.
We have to get him to see it a different way. He feels he's good enough.
Yeah.
We gotta make him understand he's not.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I heard there.
Yeah.
And to start it, he said the part about he's very good, and his resume speaks for itself. Window dressing. He's been good at times, but his resume does not speak for itself. His off the field grossly overshadows his resume, so that's completely wrong. So that's just window dressing and trying to build the player up. But what inspires him? What he loves? I'm trying to find out what inspires him. Is it money, or is it fame? Is it accolades? Like what is it? What inspires him? Because if he just plays football because he's good at it and it can get him paid and it's cars, okay. Yeah. You can buy a decent sports car, but you could get a Rolls Royce, or you can get a
Maybach
if you do this,
yeah.
like you're not going to be able to get the best of the best. So if cars are what inspires him, let me talk to him in the language of cars. I think they are. He rented a Lamborghini, right? So that's okay. This is what he likes. Let me speak to him in the way. Look, if you want to have enough to have a whole garage of cars, and because who cares if he's going to crap his money away? He's going to crap his money away. But if what inspires him is like, I want the best garage of cars. I want this, and I want that car, and I want that car. Well, you can't do it. You're not going to make it. You go through this year limping around, and you're going to get a 1 year, $2.5 million deal, and you owe $7 million from all your crap already. So if you really want a garage full of cars, this is what it takes. That to me is what he loves and what inspires him. And at the end, what I think is telling about where he is right now, he needs reps, and he needs to get into game shape. They're going into the final preseason game, and the offensive coordinator just said he needs to get in game shape. Again, this is not 1974 where Len Dawson did the sports on the news every night, 5 nights a week. And then when they went to training camp, okay, let's get in shape. This is the NFL. And this comes back to what I said and how I don't know how you could possibly ever at this point think, as the Kansas City Chiefs, you could put any kind of guaranteed money into this man. Because he is not physically ready to play. Whoever called with that bit about somehow somebody in the Chiefs needs to prop him up, I can't remember who called earlier in the week. Was it yesterday or was it last week? You just have somebody babysit him and do all this and do it. Bunk. I say again, crap. He's not in game shape right now. And to Eric Bieniemy's credit, Eric Bieniemy hadn't had him for the last 3 years. Eric Bieniemy's getting him now. And this is one of the reasons why losing Eric Bieniemy to his family tragedy really hurt. Because it was 2 more weeks that he could have had to try to figure out what this guy likes, to kick his ass into shape, because it's not in shape. Everything we've talked about with Rashee Rice is conveniently and somewhat covertly put into that soundbite from Eric Bieniemy. I think that's it right there. That's the whole player. You got to wipe out some window dressing that I think is there. But, I think if you take away which I mean is a positive, which I think is a complete afterthought, I think he's stubborn, he's hard-headed, and he's a pain in the ass because of it. And he thinks he's good enough. And he's not in game shape. And I got to find a way to reach him. I got to find out what he loves and speak a language and get him to look at it differently and understand how he's got to be better. And I'll tell you what, I think he's one of the most important guys on this roster. If they're going to go where they want to go, back to a Super Bowl, Eric Bieniemy's got to succeed in what it is he just said he's trying to do. 913-810-810. I want to talk about Harrison Butker. We didn't talk a lot about him yesterday. Dave Tobe at the podium today. We'll hear from him. Phone line's open. You can grab a line right now. Don't cost nothing. 913-810-810. Hit me up on the Twitter. It's at Soren Petro. You're in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
Curtis always likes a little bouquet. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah,
for
sure. Shake it.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. The summer heat can wear you out. You can be worn down. You can think, God, I just don't have it anymore. Guys, well, it's this heat. I'll feel better. The heat may just be cover for what is a reality. That is that you are slowing down. You are getting worn out. Listen, 1 in 4 men from 35 to 50 have low testosterone. Low levels of energy, low levels of sex drive, motivation, mood, and more. Low T drains your energy and motivation, so you don't have the energy for the things you love. You might even stop recognizing yourself. Listen, you might be thinking, I'd love to go to the gym, but I'm worn out, I'm tired. You might get to the gym, and you just can't do the reps that you used to do. Get the answers you need this summer for free at the Low T Center. Low T Center can book a free testosterone test and get a consultation from licensed providers who specialize in testosterone replacement therapy. It's what they do. They can explore a range of peptides and even get a jump on getting in shape with the GLP-1s and medical weight loss protocols. That's right, they can help you out with that as well. If you're not who you want to be, the Low T Center can help you get back there, guys. Low T Center has been the #1 name in TRT and men's health since 2009 for a reason. So don't spend another day wondering why you don't feel like yourself. If you're tired, worn out, don't have the drive that you used to have, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. And schedule your free testosterone today with the Low T Center. Again, go to fixmylowt.com and schedule your free testosterone test today. That's fixmylowt.com.
Your grocery store shopping just got a major upgrade with the all-new Henhouse Passport Rewards app. It's your fast, easy, and free way to unlock personalized offers, digital coupons, exclusive member-only specials, and special in-store events, all designed to help you save more on the products you buy most. Before your next trip to Henhouse, download the Passport Rewards app and start taking advantage of bigger savings every time you shop. The Henhouse Passport Rewards app. More rewards, more savings, and more reasons to love shopping at Henhouse. Download it today.
The Surge are on the road this week in Texas, and listen to the games from Frisco. The Wind Surge return home Tuesday, August 25th for a key series against Arkansas. It starts with a 2 for Tuesday, continues with a Wet Nose Wednesday, a Turbo Tubs Thirsty Thursday. Friday brings post-game fireworks, Saturday a Wind Surge hockey jersey giveaway, and we wrap it up on Sunday with a Kids Day. Join the fun and get your tickets at windsurge.com and listen to the game tonight starting at 7 p.m. on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Family Leisure is finally having our summer sale. Lots of cold and rain before has led to great deals now. Come in now for the best deals of the year. Save hundreds, even thousands on Tropic Seas hot tubs, Leisure Select, Hanneman, and Jensen furniture. Locally owned and operated, shop Family Leisure for the best prices, best products, best selection. Family Leisure's summer sale happening now, where family and fun come together at Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome! This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
I know the song. I know what you were looking for. What did I miss on?
Right before the show, began, it came out that she passed away today.
Oh, really?
80.
That sucks.
Yeah. Beyond legend. I mean, a few cultural icons there exist, and she spanned every possible area of cultural relevance.
Wow, that's a pisser.
And did so for 60 years.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real downer. I had my head buried in college football crap, getting my college football predictions together. Didn't have that on ESPN college football or CBS college football. It was not one of the headlines. Oh, that's a real downer. 913-810-810. Let's go to the phones. John wants to chime in. You're in the program, John. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my phone call. Great show, as always. So I got an 8-year-old son who is really into the Chiefs right now and the Royals, and it's always fun to get his observations and viewpoints. And he's got some really good takes. And just the other day, he asked me, he said, Dad, what is your biggest concern right now about the Chiefs? He asked a great question. I said, well, I'll probably have to go with their wide receiver room and probably an edge rusher. Those are my biggest concerns right now. So I said, son, what are your biggest concerns? And this was his exact answer. He said, Dad, my biggest concern is Josh Simmons. He said, if that guy is healthy, and this is an 8-year-old saying this, he says, if he's healthy for 17 games, I think they can go 13-4, and he can be a Pro Bowler. He said, if he plays 8 or 9 games, I don't think they're making the playoffs. He said, he's that good of a player. He has some massive concerns about his health and some other factors. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I think I had to change my answer to his biggest concern. I think that's a concern. And I hope this guy can play 17 games. I think he's the second most valuable player on the Chiefs team. And what have you guys heard so far about his back injury?
Well, not much more than, well, it's not that serious and it's fine. But, every day that he's out, it becomes more serious. I think that's pretty clear. I also think that they want to make sure they know he's very important. We had a question yesterday was, how was it put, the an integral point, or like how many
single point failures?
Single point failures.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? The single point failures. And my list of players for the single point failures in order was Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Simmons 2, Chris Jones 3, 4 was Mansour Lane, 5 Rashee Rice, and then 6, 7 I said would be Andy Reid and can't remember who number 7 was, but anyway, Kenneth Walker, right? But if I had 5, that I thought, I think you can overcome it. Like I'm talking about the health of Andy Reid, not to be, macabre about it, but that was my list. So I agree with you. I think your son's absolutely right. I think he is number 2 because I think if Patrick Mahomes has time, if Patrick Mahomes is protected, if Patrick Mahomes knows he's only got to worry about problems on one side, he can escape. And even, with some reduced mobility, which we assume he's going to have to some degree, I think he'll still be able to escape and make plays. But if Josh Simmons, if that's a revolving door, I mean, we saw that was a big problem. Big part of the problem last year was that Wanya Morris was playing and it really fell off. And I think with Jalen Moore, it really falls off. And so I think they're going to have a problem on the right side. Sam McDowell was the first one to say it. He'll be in later. I'll give him credit for it. The excitement around Khalil Benson, he said, well, I think what we got to be careful about is that it's not just, you don't really have one tackle. It's not that Khalil Benson's that great. It's that Jalen Moore's that bad, that an undrafted rookie is competing with him for the starting job. Now it's possible that Jalen Moore is definitively better, and the Chiefs have done this just to drive Benson because they like what he's got, but they needed someone to push Jalen Moore. I don't know if there's some mind games going on there. But, yeah, the tackle room, especially if Josh Simmons doesn't play, they're in trouble for multiple years, right? Because you will be in the market for a tackle. They're in the market for a wide receiver, have to be, because they don't have good enough wideouts. They don't have dependable enough wideouts for sure. They're in the market for a tight end. They have to be. They don't have dependable tight ends. Oh, and Travis Kelce plays, which he usually does once he starts the season. He's going to be pretty good. But you can't depend upon the fact that he's going to keep playing. And the older he gets, the more susceptible he's going to be to injuries. And so tight end is a need. Christian Fulton will come off the roster, and so will L'Jarius Sneed. after this year. Whatever you're going to get from each of those guys. So that puts you to Jaden Kennedy. Corner is a need for this team moving forward. You're going to want to get out from under Nick Bolton's contract at some point. Linebacker may be a need. Drew Tranquil's off the books next year. Chris Jones' contract is very cuttable next year. D-tackle's a need. I mean, all of a sudden, you look around and you've got a lot of places where you need to be getting things done and having success. And so if you don't have left tackle figured out, you may be in a tear it down and rebuild it mode. You may be, let's get what we can get for George Karlaftis. That's an affordable contract. We need draft picks, lots of them. Let's move Trey Smith. Like, you may be at that point to where you have to look at this completely differently when you look at Patrick Mahomes, because you're not going to have 5 first-round picks to go solve all these problems. So, yes, having left tackle solved makes the rest of the offensive line much easier. It means you can move on from a Trey Smith because you can be okay at guard. You can look for a tackle. It means you can spend picks on other places. But if you have to put a 4th pick into left tackle because Wanya Morris, Kingsley Suamatea, and Josh Simmons have all been guys that they thought maybe could solve it. And if none of those guys do it, that's a lot of draft capital that's gone by the wayside.
And I think, given their situation with Mahomes and his contract, I think corner is always going to be an area of need because you're not going to pay guys for second contracts. You're going to try to trade and get other. If Mansour Delane is great, you can see the spot when they're in a Trent Duffy situation when they've got to trade him to get some cap space because he's not affordable on a second deal. I think they're always going to be needing to have someone good on the way at that position.
Yeah,
it's almost like pitching to me. You're always going to need another guy.
Yeah, and I think you don't necessarily always need a number 1 guy.
No.
But, yes, you're always going to need a guy. 913-3-810-810. We'll take a break, come back. I want to hear Dave Tobe talking about Harrison Butker. We'll do that next here in the program.
It's my favorite Dolly Parton song.
Yeah, keeping with the theme, huh? Lasted all one song. Couldn't find anything else?
I don't know any other Dolly Parton songs.
You can't Google Dolly Parton songs?
I wanted to play this one.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Will you? What is it?
Jolene.
I will agree that's absolutely the only other one, the only one I know.
Jolene was a big hit.
Okay. There it is. Curtis has spoken. 913-810-810, the phone number. Steve, you're on the program. Go ahead, Steve. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, oh, God, I hated to hear that about Dolly Parton.
Yeah, it sucks.
Phenomenal. That, sorry, guys, you broke that news to me.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, but the Eric Bieniemy piece, I love it. Number one, I hope his wife and everything is doing good, and these things are getting situated with his family. It's a tough situation, but I love it. Basically, in my opinion, he's calling the kid out, saying, "This is it. Fix it."
I agree. I mean, I think there's a little bit of tough love there. I mean, I think he didn't want to, go out and make it look like he was embarrassing the kid, because I think other veterans would be like, "Coach, what are you doing?" But he's making it clear. I mean, he's putting it out there for everybody. And I think it's also something that, don't you get the idea that, like Travis Kelce was one of the guys that was a real proponent. We know Travis Kelce and Eric Bieniemy had, squared off on the sidelines. They always said it was just about the heat of the moment and both wanting to win and everything. But Travis Kelce was one of the biggest proponents of Eric Bieniemy coming back and championing it. And I'm wondering if there isn't the Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes types, that maybe even the Creed Humphreys and Trey Smiths, the leaders on this team, the guys that have been around, the guys that play at the highest level, that are like, "Coach, here's the kid's problem. Like, he's talented, but here's the kid's problem." I mean, I think there's an element of, I'm certain, whether it's Andy Reid or I'll bet you other players, though, have been like, "Rashid can play, right? But here's what he doesn't do." And Bieniemy's picking up for it on his own as well. But and so when he goes out there and makes a statement like that, I think the other leaders on that team are well aware of those situations, and they're all, trying to bring him along past those shortcomings.
And they've seen it, and they've been through it, and just not to get, just to stay somewhat in the realm.
Yeah.
And George Brett did not have moral issues or anything. He didn't get into issues, but he didn't have the best start, and it was not easy. There were some rufflings starting out with between Charlie Lau and George Brett's father.
Yeah,
and then I heard a little take from George on a video blast a little back, where he said Ken, his brother, saved his career because early on in the minors he didn't like what they were telling him, and he just walked out of the clubhouse and he was done. And his brother said, "No, you're going to go back and you're going to apologize and beg for your job." Just it takes tough love sometimes just to turn things around, and
it does. And I wonder, and listen, the football's different in the sense, and we're talking about, George was talking about leaving the minor league clubhouse, not the clubhouse of the team that paid him, over $1 million a year, which is would be the case later on in life. And that's a little bit of where Rashee Rice is. He doesn't make near what he could make if he didn't have off the field problems and he could stay healthy and play. He could make a lot more money, but he's still making a pretty good check in there, so he's probably not going to walk out. But I think that's where he's hard-headed. He doesn't see the need to work. He clearly did not see the need to put the work in to get his knee healthy. He clearly did not see the need to not test positive for marijuana and end up in jail for 30 days, which kept him from preparing for the season. Like, that is a lack of understanding what it takes to play at the highest level. It's also a clear sign that he is not at all interested in being the best of the best. Being pretty good and on the squad and making a couple million a year, 7-8 million. I mean, this speaks to that the money's so big that you don't even have to be that good, and you make good enough money that why bother trying? It's also what I think, let's shine the light on Patrick Mahomes, who makes more money than anybody and has achieved more than anybody in this game currently today, because he's the quarterback, because I don't think anybody else, there's no one else playing that has 3 Super Bowl MVPs along with 3 championships. He's the most accomplished and most well-paid player in the NFL, and he came back and was full go in less than 9 months. In 8 months, he was a full go.
Every morning.
Yes. Because you don't want to know why? He didn't want to be pretty good. He didn't want to just be a starter in the NFL. He wants to be the baddest man to ever play the position. He wants to win more than anyone's ever won. He is driven to be the best. And you see the stark contrast between a guy who's pretty gifted, pretty talented, and is fine being pretty good, and a guy who's pretty gifted, pretty talented, but he's not the most talented. You know, he's 6'2", not 6'5", 6'6". Right? That comes away from him. He ran a 4.73. Alex Smith ran a 4.71. I mean, Mike Vick ran a 4.41. You know, numerous guys run way better than he runs. Yet he's about as effective a scrambler as you could be. He's certainly as effective as anyone maybe he's ever been at scrambling to buy time and then still deliver the football. But he's not the most gifted. But he's on his way to having his name be one of 3 or 4 guys that's talked about for being the best to ever play the game.
Yeah, Soren, thank you but my whole point. I'm glad Bieniemy's back. And
yep.
He did a point professionally. He got called out and it's like, kid, fix it.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Steve. Thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it, and that's why they brought him back. That's what they want to see from him. All right, I want to wait on Harrison Butker, the Harrison Butker cut. We'll play that maybe with Sam, or we'll do it in the 5 o'clock hour where Dave Tobe talks about the misses from Harrison Butker. But I mean, just to put a cherry on the Rashee Rice, Patrick Mahomes comparison, they're not that far apart as far as what their physical abilities say they are for their position. I mean, Rashee Rice ran a 4.5 something. That's not blazing speed, but he is 6'2". He is good size, where Mahomes is, frankly, height-wise, undersized. And the height's what gives you further vision downfield. And if you don't think that's true, then tell me if you ever stand up on your tippy toes to try to see something.
Right where I was going. Ever in a crowd, what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah. Give me a break. And so, yet, here he is playing at the highest level. I mean, that's one where I wonder, because Patrick Mahomes is the guy, I wonder, what we have not seen from Patrick Mahomes is the Brady going over to the line and just blowing up on him. Like, I firmly believe when he blew up on the field against Buffalo about Kadarius Toney being called for lining up offsides, that was not meant for the refs. That was meant for the coaching staff. Because after that, I'm pretty sure after that, the Kadarius Toney on the field crap kind of stopped. I think that was his, like, okay, you keep playing that, you're going to lose me because I'm going to go off on somebody somewhere. But I wonder if we'll see here now that he's past the age of 30, going to be 31. He's been through a knee injury, maybe had his career flash in front of his eyes, that he's always been the best teammate and been one of the guys. And especially now that he starts to, oh, that's Pat Mahomes over there. I'm a 22-year-old rookie. Like, I'm not going to go talk to him. And he goes home. His friends are going to be the guys on the team that have kids, which is going to become fewer and fewer guys. Guys that are his age are going to become fewer and fewer. I wonder if there doesn't become a separation, and now we start seeing him go over, no, I'll handle this. I'll handle this. Line up on the right. Get your head in the game. Know the snap count. And see Patrick Mahomes maybe do a little Tom Brady barking over there on the sideline, in the public eye, on the practice field, but maybe even on the sideline, in the huddle, lighting somebody up.
All right, before Indiana, what was the last school to win their first ever AP National Football Championship? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
right, we're going to have a big letdown here. Because I know you're all excited about the college football season getting ready to get going.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to spoil the whole damn thing. We're going to tell you what's going to happen right here. You're not going to have. You want to save some time on Saturdays, Thursday nights, Friday nights. We're going to help you out.
Yep. Spoiler alert.
We're going to tell you the entire college football season right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
You agree, right?
We've never missed.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Not that I can recall. We're going to give you the Big 12, the SEC. By the way, we'll talk to Shahan Jayaraja a little bit later on, our college football insider from CBS Sports, their national college football writer. He will be with us. But we're going to give you right now the Big 12, the SEC, how they will rank 1 through 16 when it's all said and done. We'll give you the Heisman Trophy winner, biggest name fired in coaching, biggest name hired in coaching, college football playoff standings, and then we've got bold and daring predictions for you. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Big 12. Does anybody have anything other than Texas Tech at the top?
I have BYU.
Do you really?
I do.
Explain.
I'm
okay with that.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the only other team that can win it, and I just get the feeling that with all the distractions, it's going to take a more special effort to win that, and I think BYU's kind of set up. I may be overstating that. We may get through the end of the season, and Texas Tech may just wax everyone. I think that's a possibility. But there's also, I think, a floor. Their floor is lower than BYU's, so I'm going to take the Cougars.
Does BYU does the quarterback take another step? What is Texas Tech's quarterback play going to be? These two don't face each other in the regular season. I actually love your pick there. I was like, I almost did that myself. Let me give you the fact that BYU plays 2 ranked teams, 2 on their schedule right now. Now, I think any of Arizona, TCU, Arizona State, and I'll throw in Kansas, and maybe even Baylor, because Baylor is going to get a chance to get off to a great start all the way to Baylor's schedules at the end. All those could end up being ranked teams, but right now they have Notre Dame at home on October 17th, and they have at Utah on November 7th. Otherwise, not another ranked team on their schedule. They don't play Houston. They don't play K-State, who I think a lot of us might have in that 3rd through 5th or 6th range.
Mm-hmm.
They've got TCU, which is one of the contenders, which is probably 5th in most people's, 4th or 5th in most people's. So I think for this schedule to get some teeth, for BYU to not get to where you're talking about, and I'm talking about BYU because I've got them second, I think somebody's going to have to really play up. And that's going to require an Arizona State or an Arizona or somebody like that to step forward and create a problem. So I go TCU, BYU. You go TCU, BYU?
For the 1 and 2?
Yeah.
No, Texas Tech.
Or Texas Tech, I'm sorry. Texas Tech and BYU, I apologize, yes. Texas Tech and BYU. Do you have Texas Tech second?
I do.
Okay. All right, so we all are of the same, at least on who the top 2 will be. Okay. Who do you got 3 then, Curtis?
Houston.
Okay, I've got Houston 3 as well.
With a really good coach.
I've got Houston 3. How about you, Kyle?
I've got Utah here.
Okay. Why Utah? I'll give you a reason to take Utah over Houston. I've got Houston 4. Do you have Houston 4?
I have Houston 3. I have Utah 4.
Or Utah 4. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Houston 3, Utah 4. So we got the same 2, again, just in different orders. Kyle's the one who's got it wrong this time, not you.
Sweet.
So I is the thing that I worry about Houston, I think they're going to be really good. Did you guys, by the way, use the on ESPN, a guy wrote a deal basically, and he's got a breakdown. I'd encourage people to go look at it if you want to have a good little nugget. I bookmarked it. It's called 2026 Big 12 College Football Preview, Predictions, Top Transfers, and More. Came out on August 12th.
I did all mine from just intense film study.
Okay, good.
And personal interviews that I've conducted over the last 3 weeks.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. Bill Connolly wrote it, and he has a continuity table, and where they rank their offense and defense, how much of it's back. They've got a strength of offense, strength of defense, and all that. So it's a good little read to see where people are coming up with this. If you're if you're a large Big 12 football fan, then I think you'll enjoy it. But a lot of the things that I did was also looking at the schedule. Houston's schedule is not the best. Like, I'd be all for picking Houston. Like, if you wanted to say, love the coach, they have the most expensive roster in the Big 12. The Houston Cougars do.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. But the schedule, compared to what the other guys have to face. At Texas Tech, at Kansas State, Oklahoma State, some people think are going to be good. At Utah, that's getting, I think some.
That's a rough road.
Yeah, they've got at
Road
Colorado,
schedule.
at West Virginia. They've got Baylor at home, Cincy at home. There's plenty of fluff on there, but they also, Oregon State and Southern, before they play Texas Tech. So I don't know that they are going to have to show that much, and they get a couple of games out of the way before they get Tech. It's at Tech, so I think you'll like Tech. I think Tech will probably be close to a 10-pointer, maybe more favorite, but it's the Houston schedule having to play Tech and Utah, because most of the teams up top don't have to play two of them.
Yeah.
They only have to play one at most. So I think that's of note. All right, so we're down to number 5.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got 5?
Oklahoma State.
Okay, so you are buying the hype.
I'm buying Drew Mestamaker and the coach, the pedigree. The one issue I might have on Utah is I mean, it's the first-year guy. Scally coming in to take over for I just had it for Kyle Whittingham, but the talent is there. But I do see Utah is something of a question mark in the fact that any first-year coach. But this guy's a first-year coach, but he seems to be a great offensive mind, a quarterback guy, and he's got a guy who has a decent shot at being a Heisman finalist.
Yeah.
I was going to say at the Downtown Athletic Club. I don't know where they do it anymore. So I got Oklahoma State 5. I'm taking a flyer on them.
Where are you at 5 on Kyle?
Well, I need to give you my 4 first.
You said Houston. I asked you. Do you have Houston at?
No.
Oh, you said yeah.
No, I
okay,
didn't.
sorry.
My 4 is Arizona.
Oh, okay. Wait,
I was low on the coach in the coach rankings, so I blew it there.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that.
We should have just changed that now that you've changed your mind.
They're the fifth in AP points. The top-rated,
so you
non-ranked team.
You like the Wildcats, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they may have the best quarterback in the conference as well.
Okay.
Fafita.
Schedule-wise, they've got to go to BYU. They've got to go to Texas Tech. They've got Utah at home. They also have to go to Kansas State if you're a believer in K-State.
Yeah.
Tough schedule.
It is.
Tough schedule. That's why I didn't have them higher. I've got, so you got Arizona 4. Who do you have 5?
5, this is where I have Kansas State.
Okay, that's what I've got too. I've got the Cats because of the schedule. The schedule just
It's
really,
soft.
yeah. I mean, Nichols to get some mistakes out of the way. Washington State, I don't think is going to be that good. They lost their coach, right? He's the one that went to Iowa State. Or they got that wrong. It was the Oregon State coach.
I think it was the Washington State guy.
So they lost their coach. Then they've got Tulane, who also lost their coach. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be that good. So they got a really good chance to be 4-0 when they host Houston. And if they've got it humming and they're playing with confidence, I think that could be a pretty good spot to catch them. But we'll see. Then Kansas, at Arizona State, at Colorado, Oklahoma State, at TCU, home for Arizona. And at Iowa State, Houston is the only ranked opponent on the K-State schedule, and they're number 23. Schedule-driven, I have K-State at number 5. Plus, I think Colin Klein's going to be good. All right, 6, Curtis?
That's where I have Kansas State.
Okay. Kyle?
6, I've got Houston.
Okay. Makes sense because you got Arizona. I got TCU here. We've talked about Houston a little bit. TCU... They're the ones, like I was looking at they have the continuity table. They have 51% of their offense back and 44% of their defense, which is down towards the bottom. But they have a lot of returning starts. So they've got like starters, but no depth back, it feels like. I don't know what to do with TCU. I think TCU might be pretty good and be fighting for the league title. I also think they could play down. So, for me, there's kind of the top 4, and then we're in kind of a no man's land. And I put K-State to the top because of the schedule.
Yeah. I kind of have a top 2, a next 2, and then there's kind of a group.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, Tech and BYU. I think Houston's going to be playing at a level – up near BYU and Texas Tech. I think they could be as good. I just think the schedule's going to be hard.
Yeah.
So I might have 3. Utah, I'd say I'd have a 3. And Utah's more likely to play down than they are to play up. That would be my guess. But, all right, number 7, Curtis?
My 7 is Arizona. Again, in that kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 wash.
I've got Arizona as well. Where are you, Kyle?
This is where I have TCU.
Yeah, okay. All right, Arizona State is 8 for me, Curtis.
TCU.
Okay, we're in this. This is the wash.
Yeah.
In the Big 12. Who do you got 8, Kyle?
ASU, Arizona State.
All right. I go Oklahoma State at 9. Curtis?
Arizona State.
Okay. Yeah. So we're in that
5 to 9 is a lot of crossover. I
Yeah.
think starting at 10 is where we're going to get some
difference of opinion.
Some new teams that we're not just knocking around the same ones. We're going to get a new group we're going to knock around.
Yeah, I agree because Kyle is going to say, let me look who had, and he said he's going to say Oklahoma State here.
No, I'm going to say Iowa State.
Wow.
Boy, you and I are different on Okie State.
I thought I was bold with Iowa State at 12. I think they are being undervalued, but they did lose a lot of players. Like they had to rebuild this thing. Like they might be the pick we should all be on next year, after they get a chance to at least get some of their guys and retain some of those, and then put another class together. I do think they're going to be better coached than people realize. I do think they got a pretty good coach. But boy, up at 9.
Yeah, my issue is with Oklahoma State is the schedule's brutal.
What is it? Let me look here.
They start Oregon, Oregon, Texas Tech, and then
they start at Tulsa.
At Tulsa,
then Oregon.
Oh my God, they do.
Yeah, Murray State, at West Virginia, Central Florida, at Houston, Colorado, Iowa State, at K-State, Texas Tech, at Arizona State, and Kansas. So they have Tech and Houston. But the Oregon game's not going to matter for the standings, for the league standings. But I will say if they take an ass-kicking there, that could blow up their psyche.
Yep. They
could carry that. The good news for them is Murray State, West Virginia, and Central Florida start feeling good before you got to play Houston again. But I won't. Wait a minute, hang on. I just gave you Oklahoma State's schedule. I clicked on Iowa State and the computer jumped.
I was talking about Oklahoma State.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay, then I got that right. Yeah. Oof.
And why he has them 17.
Okay. So do you have Oklahoma State 10th?
I do.
Okay. Who do you got 10, Curtis?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I've got them 11. I've got Kansas 10. I think the Jayhawks are going to be better. I got Kansas 10. They got to figure out the quarterback, but Kotelnicki, I think they're going to be. They've got some pretty good. They did a decent job in keeping the players they need to keep, but it's so much of it's going to come to the quarterback. But I'm going to bet on Lance Leipold. I've got Kansas at 10. So I'm the high water mark on the Jayhawks, co-high water mark on K-State. Who do you got 11, Curtis?
I have Kansas.
Okay.
For many of the reasons you stated. Playing in a stadium that's not entirely under construction and return of there's some things that are helping out the loss of an NFL quarterback.
All right, 11, Kyle, for you.
This is where I have the Jayhawks.
Okay. All right, so we're in the same neighborhood with them. I go Iowa State at 12. Curtis?
Baylor.
Okay. Coach getting fired?
No.
Oh, okay. I think he will. Kyle?
Baylor.
No, I don't know Baylor. I have Iowa State there at 12. So then 13, I have Baylor. So we're in the same neighborhood. Curtis?
UCF.
Okay. Kyle?
UCF.
Okay, I have UCF next at 14 for me. So we're in the same neighborhood. Curtis?
West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
Kyle?
14, I have Cincy.
They're not going to be good, but I don't know. That's all kind of this. That could be the same mishmash.
Yep.
I'd like to point out.
14.
So I've got Colorado and West Virginia 15-16. Curtis?
I've got Colorado, Iowa State 15-16.
Okay. I don't know what you see in West Virginia. I'll take Iowa State over West Virginia.
I think those three. I think those bottom three are kind of just lumped together.
Okay. What are your 15-16, Kyle?
15, West Virginia. 16, Deion's Colorado Buffaloes.
Okay.
Prime
All right.
time.
The Buffs in last. We'll take a break, come back. SEC. Where does Mizzou slot in? We talk about that next here in the program.
The Program with Soren Petro.
There's 3 idiots sitting here and Leabo walking by.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. If you are in the market for an RV, there's only one place you need to go. That's to Unlimited RV. You know, they've been nominated again for the 4th straight year for the top 50 RV dealers in the country. That's right, you heard me right. Top 50 RV dealers in the country. And they are the number 1 RV dealer in Kansas City. Josh has a great team over there. Bill, Nate, Nick, they'll be happy to help you out. If it's in sales, Bill does a fantastic job. The finance manager, Nate, will take care of you. Nick in service, you know, they have master technicians in service. So if you need any work done on your RV, they're going to take care of you. In fact, they have the only mobile service you're going to find anywhere that handles warranty work. That's right. They can actually come to you to do the warranty work. Fully transparent pricing. It's the ultimate place to go. Unlimited RV. Every new camper comes with a lifetime warranty with a 4.7-star Google rating based on more than 900 reviews. That's right. That's customer reviews. You can find your next RV today at Unlimited RV. Go to unlimitedrv.com right now and see for yourself. 2 great locations, 4400 North Cobbler in Independence and 12 Hauser Road in Eldon, Missouri. Locally owned and operated, veteran-owned and operated. They're there to help you out. No matter what you've got when it comes to your dream for getting out on the road, they can make it become a reality. So get to Unlimited RV today. Go to unlimitedrv.com and get started right now. That's unlimitedrv.com.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes.
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer before Indiana. What was the last school to win their first ever AP National Championship? Goes back more than 30 years.
Miami?
Nope. They won their first.
Florida State?
Florida State, 1993.
I sure remember that.
Before that, you get a little bit of a run going. As 84 it was Brigham Young, and then Miami, and then
that was BYU's
Clemson.
first.
Yeah.
So then, wouldn't they be the last? What year was Florida State's championship?
93.
Oh, 93. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was thinking 83. Yeah, 93. Yeah. Yeah, there was a number of them. Who's the last team to play for it that's not already on the list? Not counting Indiana, obviously, in between. Is it just Oregon?
Probably so.
Because Auburn had won it before they won theirs with Chiswick, obviously.
Yep. So had Tennessee.
Anybody else play for the title?
That's a fun thing to look up. I was just looking at
when did Florida win a national championship?
96.
So the Florida
won
would be
before
last.
that, though.
When did they win before that?
Before that.
Did you even look at this question?
I did.
Before? Interesting.
I did.
Because it kind of doesn't feel like it.
Amazingly, I wish I could say I didn't.
When did Florida win a championship before 96?
I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that might be the latest.
Was 96. They have an unclaimed one. Sorry. Yeah. Loser. Oh, well. It said Florida. Sorry. Ah, well.
Well, good. Dynamite transition over to the SEC and what we think is going to happen there.
Glad we...
Deadly accurate, Curtis Seabolt.
Glad we spent all that time on it.
Yeah. Good times.
Ah, well.
All right, SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got LSU. Texas got a tough schedule. So I've got Georgia, LSU, Texas for the top three.
Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M.
Wow. That's
Ooh.
my exact same top three, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I'm down on Texas A&M. I think they had a magic run and they lost both coordinators.
Yeah, that could be a problem. For sure.
I think the schedule's pretty rough too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they've got one of the easier SEC schedules. They do have Texas.
Am I wrong?
But they miss Georgia. They do have to go at LSU, at Bama, and at OU.
Yeah, cakewalk.
And at Mizzou.
Well, settle down on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Missouri, but like when you look at the big boys, they've got at LSU, at Alabama, and at OU plus Texas. So they've got 4 of the 5 big ones.
Yeah.
They're one of them, so I think that's all they can have. They're of the top 12-ish type, top 12, 13 schools.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also got Tennessee at 20, and they've got at Missouri at 25. And you've got that as one of the easy ones. And let's not even forget that the Bears of Missouri State come calling to open this thing.
Yes. You don't want to mess with Springfield, baby.
Man, I can't help you with that. I think you guys are out to lunch.
Okay.
I think there's a market correction there coming for them.
Lunch.
Okay. All right, we'll see. All right, my 4, 5, 6. Oklahoma, Alabama, Tennessee.
Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama.
So you're on Ole Miss, huh?
Yeah. I think I'm not sold completely on Golding, but he's got...
I'm not sold at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's
well,
true.
I'm not sold on him, but...
I just think he's got defense plays there. He's a good defensive coach. They got a lot of good defensive talent, and they got the quarterback and the running back. Might have the best combination of quarterback running back in the conference.
I think they're going to be a little fat and happy. I think they're going to disappoint. I think Ole Miss is going to be a disappointment this year.
Could be. I hope.
What's your 4, 5, 6, Cal?
LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama.
Oklahoma and Alabama. Okay. So neither one of you have Tennessee this high.
No.
Because my next 3, because I can go 3 more before I get to Missouri. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and then I'm banking on Florida to make a big jump. I like the coaching there. So that's my 7, 8, 9. What's your 7, 8, 9, Curtis?
My 7, 8, 9, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri.
Okay. Ooh, down on OU. You're by far the lowest on OU.
Yeah.
You've got them 7th, so no playoffs. Kyle's got them 5th, and I've got them 4th. Okay, Kyle, you have Missouri at 9. All right, we'll save the Missouri talk here for a second.
My 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri.
Okay. I have Missouri 10. So what do you think about where Mizzou is? More likely to go up or down? Are they more like Tennessee or more like whoever you're going to put 10, 11, 12?
I think they're a little more likely to go up because I think they do have potentially some.
Well, let's do this. Let's go down through 12. Who do you got 10, 11, 12?
I have Florida, South Carolina, Auburn.
Okay. Kyle?
I have Florida, Auburn, Vanderbilt.
Vandy. Okay. The schedule's pretty good there.
Yeah, it does make me nervous with a freshman 5-star quarterback, but I'm not sold on South Carolina at all.
Except they have a quarterback.
I like their QB. But how much else? Beamer's definitely a hot seat guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a hot seat, but he won 9 games the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, Vanderbilt had literally 1 year, and the year before that they were 7-5. Both those years they had Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
But Clark Lee didn't do squat for 3 years at Vanderbilt before that. Nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got. Let's go ahead and just finish it off, and then we'll talk about where Missouri is. I've got Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Arkansas, Mississippi State down at the bottom.
I've got Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas.
Okay. I think most people probably have Arkansas. Kyle, you got Arkansas down there at the bottom?
I do not.
Oh, wow. Okay. What do you got?
Mississippi State at dead last.
What's I'm sorry, I threw you off. What are your last 4?
13 South Carolina, 14 Kentucky, 15 Arkansas, 16 Mississippi State.
So you do have Mississippi State. Okay. We all think Mississippi State and Arkansas are the
dregs.
The dregs.
Yeah.
Okay, so with Missouri, you think Missouri is more likely to be better than Tennessee or Oklahoma, Curtis, than they are worse than Florida or South Carolina?
Yeah, because I think they have a possibility of upside with the quarterback position. Now, there's a possibility that it falls down, but if Simmons is the guy, anything resembling the guy, if he's Brady Cook level almost, I mean, they're good enough at a lot of other positions. The defense does scare me a little bit. They've got to rebuild so much of that, but he's done a good job of getting guys in to replace the guys who have left before. So why wouldn't he again? I think the quarterback gives them upward mobility. There is some downside, and which we'll get to in Bold and Daring. The Bold is we don't know what Ahmad Hardy's going to do, and Eli Drinkwitz would not commit to him even playing his first game in September. He said could be September, could be middle October. Maybe he's playing some games there, but the best player on their team hasn't practiced yet. That's a problem.
Yeah, I think it's a problem as well. What's the highest Missouri could land? I have no problem with Missouri being in front of Florida. I could flip flop those two right now. What's the highest? I can see a big regression for A&M. I can see a problem for Ole Miss. I'm not
7.
completely sold on Tennessee. I think 6 is as high as I could get them. I can't get them past Georgia, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, or Alabama.
All right. Yeah.
Well, you say yeah, but you've already got Oklahoma at 7, and I already asked you that, and you said yes, they could get by Oklahoma.
I think they could get by.
What's the highest they could go? How far up your list could they go?
I think they could get to. I think 7. I think they could get. I do like A&M as much as I like them. I don't think they're going to fall. Let's see, Ole Miss I think could fall because new coach. Tennessee, so I think they can get past Tennessee and Ole Miss.
I think they can
get to 7, but that moves Oklahoma up a little bit.
What's the lowest you can get them, Kyle?
Well, I've got them at 9 right now. I think they can jump Tennessee, who I have 8th, but they're not going to be better than Ole Miss, Bama, OU, LSU, A&M, Texas, or Georgia.
Well, then how far can they fall?
If Florida is legit and Auburn really turns it around, I think they're better than 12th at the very least.
So 11th is the lowest they can fall?
I'm somewhere
so
in between.
you've got them somewhere between
11 and 8.
8 and 11.
Yeah.
And you picked them to go 9.
Mm-hmm.
So you're homering them a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. And Curtis, you got them going as high as 7 and as low as where?
I'd say 11.
11. You're insane. They can go as low as 13. Like, we don't know what the quarterback is. They had the kid from Clemson. He was supposed to be good. Like, I know this Simmons kid is supposed to be good, but he was 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and they quickly turned away from him.
Yeah.
So, like, I think he's going to be better than that. I think quarterback is going to be a positive. I don't know that I'm going to say it's a strength, but I think it's going to be a positive. I think they're going to get better quarterback play than maybe some people nationally think. And I think if they get that, that's where I have them going. I know people are down on Alabama. I think they're going to be fine. They may not be 1, 2, or 3, but they're going to be fine. But I don't think they can crack that club. But if the quarterback is wrong and Ahmad Hardy's not playing, and you just pointed out the defense, and they play all 5 of what is the national consensus top 5 teams in this league, I could see them at 13. I mean, if Clark Lee's got it figured out, Vanderbilt's spending money, you could get below Vanderbilt. You could go below Auburn. I think Missouri, South Carolina, Auburn, and Vanderbilt and maybe Florida all look a lot alike to me. Like, that to me is their little cycle. And so I homered them. I've got them second in that list of teams. But then I do think Kentucky, and if I'm wrong, Kentucky may play up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Kentucky's kind of
just not in year 1.
Yeah. I think Kentucky's better than Arkansas and Mississippi State. I think those two are definitively on the bottom. But I do think Kentucky's kind of a step back, which is kind of weird. I should either bump them up into the top group or leave them in the bottom. But I feel pretty comfortable that Kentucky will be better than those two. Like, I feel bad for Arkansas fans.
Yeah.
Like, I don't – this feels like it's 3 years of like, well, he's only in his 3rd year. I'm like, okay.
What gives me keeps the floor a little higher for Mizzou is that I can't imagine their quarterback play could be worse than it was a year ago, and they had really no kicker. They basically had to go for it on 4th down because they couldn't get a guy who could kick, and they finished 8th.
All right, Heisman Trophy, who the biggest names hired and fired will be in college football, and our playoff teams. That's coming up next here in the program. Another Dolly?
Tom Petty.
Oh.
Tom Petty.
He's a huge fan of Dolly Parton, as I understand it. There's a theme.
I love Dolly Parton.
Yeah. The hiring and firing.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest name hired and fired. Bill Belichick will be the biggest name fired.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest name hired will be Lincoln Riley.
Okay.
Lincoln Riley leaves USC. That was my prediction last year. I'm going back to the well. I think at some point he's going to want out of there. So Belichick out, Lincoln Riley in. Who you got, Curtis?
I have Dabo Sweeney out at Clemson.
Okay.
And I have Dabo Sweeney in at Carolina after Belichick retires. Belichick resigns, Sweeney out at Clemson, goes into Carolina.
Okay. Kyle?
I've got Deion getting fired. And my big name hired, Charlie Weiss Jr. Leaves the OC at LSU for the NFL.
Becomes a NFL coach?
Mm-hmm. It's a coordinator job or a coach.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Heisman Trophy winner, Darian Mensah, quarterback, Miami. Puts up big numbers in running away with the ACC. And Miami's one of the top 4 seeds, and he wins the Heisman Trophy. Okay?
I'm going chalky. C.J. Carr, quarterback, Notre Dame.
The odds-on favorite right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle?
I've also got C.J. Carr. That Notre Dame schedule is quite soft.
But is that going to be, will that play against him?
It's possible, but the other favorite right now is Arch, and that Texas schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can overcome it to put up better numbers than Carr will.
Okay. So you go C.J. Carr as well?
Yes.
As you said? Okay. So we'll make sure. All right. Let's go to the college football teams who you have. Just real quick for the seedings, we can talk about it. I got Notre Dame. Who do you got as number 1? Because I've got Notre Dame being number 1. You got Ohio State?
Yep.
Kyle?
I've got Notre Dame as well.
All right. My 2, 3, 4 are Oregon, Georgia, and Miami.
Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon.
Okay, so all in the same basic family here. And then Kyle?
My 2 through 4, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas.
Okay, so two. So no. So I've got independent, Big Ten, SEC, ACC. Kyle's got independent, Big Ten, SEC, SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis has Big Ten, SEC, independent, Big Ten.
Yeah.
All right. The rest of my list that's of note, Texas, Ohio State, Texas Tech, LSU, Indiana, Alabama. Those are all the usual suspects. Do you guys have all those guys in some various order?
Yes.
Read those again.
Texas, Ohio State, or Oregon in your case.
Yeah, I've got Oregon 5th.
Okay, you've got Oregon because you've got Ohio State. I don't have Ohio State up top, so I've got Ohio State down here because I've got Oregon winning the Big Ten. Texas Tech, LSU, Indiana, Alabama. Do you have all those?
I do not have Alabama.
Okay, interesting. And you have all those that I just said?
I have Texas, BYU, Miami, Indiana.
Well, I was trying to get the ones that are the chalk. Down at the bottom, I was going to talk about who would be the surprises.
I have Texas, Miami, Indiana, Texas Tech, LSU, some of the big boys.
Yeah, okay. So then it sounds like you don't have Alabama, so this will be interesting. I've got BYU and UNLV. Hey, UNLV winning the Mountain West and being the highest ranked out there over. Most people have Boise State out of the Pac-12.
Which I do.
Yeah, that's what you have?
Yeah.
Boise State for me as well.
Okay. I've got UNLV.
Interesting.
Okay, so then who do you have? Do you have a second? You have BYU. You have BYU, you already said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have BYU?
I do not.
Okay, so what do you got? Who are the other ones?
So my 6, Miami, 7, LSU, 8, Texas A&M, 9, Oklahoma, and then here's where it gets a little interesting. 10, I've got USC.
Okay.
And then Tech.
Okay. All right, so USC is different. My UNLV is different. Curtis and I have BYU. You only have one Big 12 then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bold and daring predictions. Right? This is I always like this one. Bold and daring predictions. Curtis, what do you got at the top?
Neither of LSU's 2 NFL recruits plays after the SEC joins the Big Ten in disallowing it.
That'll be interesting. Is that bold? They're fighting it right now.
Yeah. One team is. They are, but I mean, is it going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're going to try.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Okay. Kyle?
My first one, Kansas State, aided by a softer schedule, finishes top 5 in the Big 12, and Colin Klein gets an extension.
Okay. I will take mine along that front. No, I'll just go ahead and take because I like that one better. Bill Belichick is fired before the season is over.
Okay.
Not only is he out, but he is out early. They're not going to mess around with this all year. They're going to get him out and want to get on the trail for going after Dabo or Lincoln Riley or whoever. But he is gonzo early. I was going to do something and his girlfriend does a TikTok MF on the way out the door or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll add that. GF TikToks the office clean out.
Yeah, there it is with the boxes.
Yeah.
On the way out of the door.
Okay. There you go. I'll add that to it. All right. Number 2 for UK.
One coach will make the college football playoff in their first season at that school.
There'll be a first-year coach in the college football playoff. Would that be a better way to put it?
Yeah. I want to say first year. People might think it's his first year as a head coach, but I mean first year at that school.
Okay, first year at that school coach in the college football playoff. Like, give me an example. Who are you thinking?
I could say I had the guy picked out earlier. Who I think it might be.
John Summerall?
Could be the Oklahoma State guy.
Eric Morris.
He might sneak in.
Okay.
Or Utah. I had a guy
Utah,
earlier
yeah,
that I had an idea for, and now I can't. Pete Golding would be first full season.
Yeah,
but
I'd take that.
Yeah, I think someone's going to be in there that's first year guy.
Okay. All right. Number 2 for you, Kyle.
My number 2, similar to your first. Colorado goes winless in the conference, and Dion, his season is cut short. I think he gets fired or he steps down before it's over.
Okay. Got it. That would be a glorious press conference, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Watch him peacing out.
I think my favorite quote from him this offseason was, you just haven't seen the fruit bloom yet or something like that. You guys just don't see it. It's like, yeah, no, I don't.
No, I don't see it. I'm just curious if he does get fired or quit, will he leave the receipts in his office drawer? Do the receipts remain the property of Colorado? Or does he get to take the receipts he's been keeping with him?
No, if I'm Colorado, I'd want to get rid of all evidence.
No, I'd want to see the receipts he was keeping, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'd want to see that. Which ones he's really upset about.
Hand them out to the media members.
This guy did not make my biggest name, but in addition to UNLV making the playoffs, then Dan Mullen returns to the SEC. If I'm wrong, then he returns to the Big Ten. I could put Dan Mullen returns to a Big Ten or SEC. Like I don't think it's like Big 12. He goes Big Ten or SEC. If he puts UNLV in the playoffs, they'll be like, okay, Florida's a mess. Like you can't make those people happy. And he did some stupid things too. But he had Mississippi State in the top 10. He had good talent coming into Florida. Somebody's gonna be like, this guy, he belongs in a power program. And whether it's Lincoln Riley leaves and Dan Mullen slides to USC or something, because I think the USC job, if Lincoln Riley leaves USC, that is a statement that a guy who was humming at OU couldn't make it work having to play in the Big Ten at USC. Like if you're right and USC's a power program and they're in the playoffs, then all is right with the world. Lincoln Riley stays put, and it looks like the Western Division of the Big Ten can make it go, especially if there's USC and Oregon in there. Yeah. Then it looks like the travel thing is grossly overrated, at least from a football standpoint. But if he ends up bailing, then USC looks like, do I really want to go out that way? If Lincoln Riley bails on USC, 6 or 8 years of USC struggling, and I'm the Big 12, I'm keeping my eye on that. We get to 30-31, and they're getting no traction. Like, hey, enjoy some of these West Coast teams over here. Get your boys at UCLA to join us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it'll happen, but I can dream, can't I? All right, Curtis, what do you got next?
For the first time in more than 2 decades, no SEC or Big Ten team in the championship game. Notre Dame v. Miami.
Ooh, wow.
The last time it happened was 2005, Texas USC, who are now Big Ten and SEC. The last time the championship game was 2 teams who are still not in either conference was 99 when Florida State beat Virginia Tech.
Holy cow. Wow. Okay. I like that
Plus,
one.
it's also the rematch of the Catholics versus Conference. I mean, it's Notre Dame v. Miami. That's going to be.
I just put it down as no SEC or Big Ten in the championship game. So anyone.
Yeah.
If Clemson gets there, I'm giving you credit.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm calling for that one Notre Dame Miami.
Okay.
And 50 columnists will tie for best column that week.
Okay. Kyle, number 3.
I've got a pretty similar one, so I'll just get it out of the way. Notre Dame snaps the Big Ten national championship streak.
Okay. Calling for ND national. Okay. I will go with number 3. Avery Johnson finishes 1 spot from being a Heisman finalist. So if they take 3, he's 4th. If they take 4, he's 5th. Like, I don't think he's going to be in one of those where you're like, oh, he's almost there. But I think he is going to have a big year under Colin Klein. He stays healthy. Watch, he'll go down in the first game, be out 7 weeks, and this thing will be a turd. So, which I apologize to K-State fans. But I think Avery Johnson could have a really good year. He's got plenty of experience under his belt. He's got a really good offensive mind now, calling the show. I also think there's a chance. He's got a schedule that I think he can win a bunch of games and put some numbers up. And I think there's an element, if you're K-State, really showcasing him. I mean, like, you can come here and be a star in college football. So, especially for quarterbacks, you get to play for Colin Klein, and he's going to make you a better quarterback. I think it might behoove them to even lean everything into being just a great offensive team. You know, I mean, you don't want, not at the expense of being a winning team, but like, I think there's a lot of reason to make Avery Johnson look like a star for now and for the long term. And I think Avery Johnson's got a lot of talent. So he just misses. Just misses.
Wouldn't it be bold and daring if he was a finalist?
You don't think? I don't hear anybody else got Avery Johnson being
no
3rd, 4th, 5th in the Heisman voting?
Nope.
I'm not bold enough for you? I mean, Mr. K-State finishes top 5.
You had the same one.
And you're ripping. I don't have not as my bold and daring. I picked them to finish there.
That's true.
Do you have them?
I do have them finishing top 5.
Yeah. Was he not in the room and we're like, don't just repeat what your standings was?
Probably not.
Okay, well, I just did that on 1.
That's all right. That's all right. It's not a big deal. All right, Curtis, what do you got for number 4?
Ahmad Hardy's recovery is slower than hoped. He rushes for fewer than 1,000 yards. Maybe that's not that bold or daring. But
I think the rushing for fewer than 1,000 yards makes it daring.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's already being held out of the first game, so that's kind of a tip that, okay, they're not where they wanted, or they're just not going to risk him in a game that's a complete preseason game.
Yeah.
But saying he's going to be less than 1,000 yards, I think that's bold. I mean, because presumably he's ready to go.
At some point.
All right, Kyle.
All right. For the first time in 17 games since 2008, Kansas finally knocks off Kansas State.
Oh, why is this the time?
I'm going to say it every year until it happens.
So there's nothing behind it.
No.
just you want it to happen.
Yes.
Therefore, you're going to predict it to happen.
Because I predicted when Lance Leipold was hired, I said he's going to finally do it.
Okay. I have Missouri gets its first win against an SEC team with a winning conference record.
We knew that one was coming sometime.
Well, somebody has to have it.
Yeah.
I left it there for Curtis to take.
Nah.
And he didn't go there.
He's not a believer.
I skipped it.
He didn't go there.
Nope.
So, I think that's pretty good. All right, K, number 5.
The one I had to add because one of them had something to do with coaches being fired. This is kind of fun. No player from Georgia is involved in a police-related matter.
Damn it.
Do you have the same thing?
I said no traffic violations at Georgia.
That's your last one?
Yeah. I have an honorable mention, so I'll use that one.
Okay. So how did you put it, Curtis?
I said no Georgia player is involved in a police-related matter.
Starting when?
Now.
Now?
I'll say now.
Okay. All right. So, Kyle, what's your honorable mention that you're going to bump up?
My honorable mention is that one of the service academies makes the college football playoff. Navy,
So
Army, Air Force.
there is a lot of people think that the Army-Navy game could end up screwing up the conference championship game because it's on the same weekend. And so what are they going to do with Army-Navy? Because both the Army and Navy are supposed to be pretty good, right?
I don't know about Army, but Navy does look a little bit better.
Okay. I read somebody saying that could end up being an issue because it's the same weekend, right?
Yeah, and usually the Army-Navy is supposed to be the only game played.
Yeah,
on
and they
that
switched
weekend.
that for this year. Now it's on there. So if one of them gets into the conference championship game, it's hosed.
Yeah.
Drag.
Are we the only one that can look at a calendar? That is bold. If you get that right. Did your father mind that you said one of them and not Army?
I'm going to tell him to listen to the first hour of the show and not the second.
Okay. I have 2 teams with 3 losses make the playoffs.
It's kind of funny. I actually thought about my first instinct was somebody with that the championship game is between 2 teams with at least 1 loss. And I realized that happened 2 years ago. I was like, oh, never mind.
Well, I think
I very quickly realized that.
Did
was a bad
Miami have
choice.
2 going into that? They had 2 going into the championship game this year, right?
Might have.
Because they barely got in. Or they got in over Notre Dame and everybody was upset.
Yeah.
And they didn't play in their conference championship game. Duke did at 7-5.
Right. Let's see.
I read a whole bunch of these to try to come up with ideas.
They were 13-2.
13-2. Okay. So I read a whole bunch of these to try to come up with ideas, a bunch of different stories that have predictions for the college football season. There was a guy who said no one in the SEC has fewer than 3 losses. I was like, I can't go. But I mean, and they phrased it the same way we do it, bold and daring.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm predicting this to happen. It was a bold and daring prediction. It's not like I'm guaranteeing it to happen, I should say. He is predicting it, but he's predicting it as, all right, to be bold and daring, I can see this happening. Could you see everybody in the SEC with 3 losses?
No.
I can't see it just because it requires Georgia to beat Texas and Texas to beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma to beat, it requires this domino effect.
You've got to thread
Somebody
the needle.
always emerges.
Yes.
But I do see a case where you get a 3-loss Big Ten and or SEC or 2 from one of those leagues that gets in.
Yeah. I could see a one loss and some 2s, but every one with 3. I don't. It's mathematically possible, but as you said, I mean, that you have to.
So my originally put down was UNLV makes the playoffs, but I'm like, well, I've got them in my bracket, so that's already stated there. So that's where I came up with if they make the playoffs, Dan Mullen's going to get hired.
Yeah.
And he's going to get hired by someplace big.
Yeah.
And so then it comes down to, that takes us back to the coaches that were fired. Like, how many big jobs Florida State could be open with Mike Norvell? I mean, I think Carolina's the epitome of the term sleeping giant in football, but I think Belichick's getting fired. I think Lincoln Riley and USC could part ways. What other big jobs could be open? I think Michigan could be open.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't go well with Utah
Whittingham.
guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Kyle Whittingham.
Whittingham.
In year 1?
Yes. I don't know, he's like 60-some-odd years old. He's not there for the long haul. If it's like just like a bad cultural fit, then I think they could be like, this isn't working.
I was going to say, if he asked this a month ago, I might have said Lincoln Riley leaves and goes back to Oklahoma, but not after they give Venables an extension. Well, that was off the table.
I think that
might have been fun.
What SEC jobs could be like, that's it? Because there's so many of them that are new already.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, but
players.
Dan Mullen
South
could end up there.
Carolina.
That's one of the reasons why I said SEC, because I do think he could end up there because he was successful there. But yeah, it could be quiet on the coaching front.
All right, who was the first reliever to win the MVP and Cy Young in the same year? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Sam, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good, good. No complaints. Cool enough in here for you?
It's not bad.
Okay, let's make sure. It's not too bad. Not too bad. The columnist for the Kansas City Star, Sam McDowell, joins us here in the program. Sam, let me ask you a question.
I figured you might.
Okay. Let's start with the. We haven't touched on the Royals yet today. What does an 8-game win streak mean for this club at this point in the year? Anything?
Yes, some, not much. But, I mean, look, it doesn't mean they're going to get back in a playoff race. I mean, 99.99% no. So I don't think it means anything towards a playoff race for this year, but I do think there are elements within the winning streak that are promising for the future.
Like, are you talking about just like individual performances?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Well, let me ask you this: do you believe in, before you get to that, because I do want to hear that, but I want to stay with this part of the equation. Do you believe that you can build momentum here at the end of the year and carry it into the next year?
So that's actually yes, with this particular team, because this lineup is going to be the lineup you use next year, and so I think. But from like a results standpoint, I still think like my answer really is inherently individual performance.
This is the lineup you're going to use next year.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have said that they feel comfortable what they have at first base, second base, shortstop, third base. I mean, their outfield they feel better about, catcher. So yeah, I think.
So the greatest fear that I hear from Royals fans is they'll win these games and then they'll win some superfluous games in September, and they'll point to, see, that's who we really are, and they'll do nothing.
Well, I already think that like all their energy is going to be focused on pitching anyway. And so I think the only way you could get in trouble there is if you believe in like basically Romeo Crennel beating the undefeated Packers and then suddenly he's the guy. Like if there's individuals that you believe in based on 6 to 7 weeks, and right now it's been 1, but 6 to 7 weeks who are unproven otherwise.
Are they right to look at their lineup, go around it, and come to the conclusion that they're all set at each spot?
I think they're right to think that they have more problems elsewhere. And if they are on a limited budget, which the Royals are always on a number payroll-wise, that they have better uses of their dollars elsewhere. But again, that reverts back to the conversation we had pre-trade deadline, which is the answer would ideally be, well, no, you also need to help the lineup as well.
So you don't see any quote-unquote trade that hurts?
Give me an example, because I think
Zach Greinke was a trade that hurts.
But that was
Will Myers was a trade that hurts. Those are two different trades going opposite directions as far as being buyer and seller, but they were trades that hurt. Cueto was a trade that hurt. Ben Zobrist was a trade that hurt. Trades that move real valuable pieces one way or the other, either prospects for guys who can play now or guys who can play now for prospects. You don't see anything along those lines this offseason.
Nothing.
It's all about just what they can spend free agent dollar-wise.
Nothing. I mean, first of all, we're a couple months away, but nothing that I think is, to where they're buying for the future and selling for the now. No. But as far as the other possibility, buying for now, I would ask, like, I think that's more likely, and I certainly think that's something that they will consider, but I think that's more likely when you have either major league talent to trade from, like Brady Singer, like the potential of trading Chris Bubich this last offseason, or you have AAA talent that looks close to ready to the majors, like Will Myers, which was the centerpiece of that James Shield trade. Who are those guys right now? I think the Royals have a lot of minor league talent, like in the lower levels of the minor league, to where you could see that potentially, because when you're only talking A-ball, look, it's why the Royals prefer AAA prospects compared to A-ball. It's more of a sure thing when you've done it at 3 levels than when you've only done it at 1. But I still think that they have some promising guys at that level. I don't know that they've got a lot of guys at AAA that other teams are going to consider like the centerpiece of a package.
No Carter Jensen being moved because you got Blake Mitchell. No Vinny Pasquantino being moved because you got Jack Caglione. Jack Caglione or Blake Mitchell. You don't see anything where there's obvious duplication that they would maybe go get a center fielder that can both hit and field. Right fielder that can.
I mean, sure. What do you got?
Well, I'm just I'm just saying, because I get the feeling that no, I think you're right. I think your initial statement stands, and I can run it by, what they, yes, we don't know who are the names that are available and who else is out there, but I'm with you. When J.J. Picola rattled off the position players, now maybe he just did a really nice job of telling the guys in that clubhouse, we believe in you. But Kyle Isbell is not good enough in center field. Okay, and he's not getting any younger, and he's not going to get better defensively. And he's had plenty of time to get better hitting-wise, and that hadn't really happened. Every time he hits a home run, the Curtis has got a couple of the guys, I do too, that are just the eternal optimist Royals fans. They're like, see, he's got the offense. Huh? Okay. I mean, Mario Mendoza got a couple hits. He batted 200, right? I mean, it didn't mean he was hot, and it didn't mean he was turning a corner. It just, 20% of the time would back ass into a hit, and so to me, like just the premise of, we don't need to do anything on the hitting, which is the vibe they give, is wrong. Their offense isn't good enough. And if they come to that conclusion, they're coming to it based upon, we need to only look at the 1 month of the 6 that count. Because this 1 month we did pretty good. I mean, I think it's fool's gold if for a third straight year you go 24 is really who we are. After 2 years of it saying no, and you're like, yeah, we're going to run that back.
Well, they've already made that decision to me at the trade deadline. Like, that's when you were confronted with that decision in the most serious way, is like, when do you think you're going to be competitive again? That was the decision you made. And so that's why I think the lineup, when I said I would look at it momentum-wise from an individual performance, and look, I mean, there's some elements baked into this win streak that just are not sustainable ever. I mean, they're hitting 351 with runners in scoring position over this 8. You're not going to do that.
Right.
And there's some other elements that I think is luck evening out, which is they actually hit the ball hard more frequently than most teams do this year. They're hitting the ball, their hard hit rate is lower now during these 8 games than what it has been all year. Again, it just goes back to the timing of when they're getting hits. Now, their chase rate has improved. They're actually swinging at more strikes too, and it's not just they stopped swinging the bat; they're swinging at more strikes too. And like Vinny is the extreme example of that, swinging at way fewer balls, swinging at way more strikes. Like, that leads to better results. We've seen a lot better results from him, and so that's why I think the individual stuff matters. I mean, Vinny Pasquantino, for example, this year has really struggled against 4-seamers. The 2 home runs he hit last week were both against 4-seamers. Like, those are encouraging signs, I think, individual. But from a team standpoint, I feel like they've already made up their minds on what they need for their lineup and the rotation and their bullpen. And I think it would only be individual performances. But, like, what are those that are going to come in the lineup that changes your mind on what you need offensively, other than maybe Vinny Pasquantino?
Well, I like Vinny in the lineup. I just don't like Jack Caglione playing in the outfield. And to me, it starts at Salvador Perez. He plays wherever he feels like playing. It does not matter how he produces. He has been given the golden ticket, and he can have a 260 on base and be swinging at pitches 1.5 feet outside the zone, and they're going to bat him DH. They're going to bat him at first base. And they're not going to go get another right-handed bat, apparently, because they have Salvi, and that's all they need.
Well, I agree with that, because I think there needs to be a real serious conversation with Salvador Perez about, here's the opportunity if you come back. We want you back, but here's the opportunity that awaits, and it's playing twice a week, 3 times a week, I think at the most, but it's not an everyday player.
But why didn't that happen last year? I mean, I screamed for it for the entire offseason. This is the time to do it. He's going to have a pen, and you're going to be talking contract. This is when you do it. Okay. Hold on. And for those who are not watching us, most of you, I've got the contract way away from Sam. Okay? But Sam's going to sign it. Before we sign it, understand you're going to play when we tell you to play, where we tell you to play, and we're not going to complain, and I need you to be a leader in the clubhouse and on board. And if that means you catch 60 games and DH 5, you're going to be okay with that. Are you okay with that? If the answer is yes, sign right there. If the answer is no, I'll put this back in my desk drawer. Okay? That was the time to do it, and they didn't do it. So why would they now, when he's already being paid, already under contract, you can't get rid of him if he's a malcontent, why would they now suddenly bow up and do what needs to be done?
I'll say why they should rather than why they would. Why they should is because Carter Jensen is more proven than he was after just playing for, we're talking about the same sort of timing, the 6-week stretch, and whether or not you believe in a player after 6 weeks. And I think he's more proven that now he's got some work to do for sure, defensively and even at the plate too. But
I don't disagree.
I think that's the answer for why should you treat it differently.
And that's why they should. But do we agree that they didn't win a championship then, and they will never win a championship again by doing the things that it is obviously crystal clear and proven mathematically, all on paper, with no risk, is to do? They have to see Salvi's on the decline. Okay, he had, what was his numbers last year? Did he go 100 RBIs last year? I think he did, didn't he? I'm not mistaken, that's 2 years ago. I think it was just last year.
Yeah.
And so, you have to be able to go like, okay, we've been on borrowed time for 3 years with this guy. Like, so now we're going to do a contract with him. We got to make sure. And if he rakes, if he reverts back to 2020, fine. He plays all the time.
30 and 100.
Okay, yeah, 30 and 100. But we need to prepare for this is what it is. We need to see over the horizon and see that. They seem to always view it as, well, if it still might be, we're going to wait and hope for it. And I hear what you're saying on, well, now you have Carter Jensen. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. They obviously didn't. You're right at the trade deadline. Michael Wacha. Like, are you going to go all the way to Seth Lugo to where he has the 4th worst ERA in baseball before you go, maybe we shouldn't do this? Or are you going to look at it and go, he's 35. He's 35. Like, we cannot expect him to be a number 2 starter in the major leagues at 36. If he is, great, but we have to prepare for otherwise. Like, their job is to see over the horizon and not wait for the sun to come up and be like, yep, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd put Salvador Perez and Seth Lugo in different buckets, even though I understand the similarity between the two, purely because Salvador Perez, I think, has earned the right to see it before it happens, before you make that. I mean, but you can see it now. I mean, he still is dead last in baseball in WAR, and I think he's second worst in offensive WAR. So that's not just based on the fact that he DHs a lot. It's not just based on, I mean, look, the defensive metrics are a little bit different because one of the things that really held him down defensively for a long time were his receiving and his framing. Like, that's different. But, I mean, obviously he's the 5th slowest guy in baseball, which affects your WAR. He doesn't get an extra base, and he's not great offensively anymore either. So I do think he deserves the extra year. I also think you could get something for Seth Lugo. I don't think you can get something great, but I think you could get something to where, he's not this guy who's going to have a statue in front of the new ballpark. And so I think that's a different situation.
Well, you definitely could have got something for him last year.
Absolutely, yes.
And that's where they have to get to. They need to be a year early getting out from under guys, not a year late, because they're just frittering away value.
But see, that is the secondary decision, and the primary decision is first, like, realizing where you are. Because you don't trade Seth Lugo because you think you're going to be good in 2026. You don't trade Michael Wacha because you think you're going to be this year because you think you're going to be good in 2027. So getting out, potentially a year early, well, first you have to think that, you're not going to be a first-place team with those guys on your roster. Same with Cole Reagans, by the way. I mean, it's the same decision. Like, he falls into that same bucket in the offseason. It's really like you made that decision 3 times. Last year at the trade deadline with Seth Lugo, in the offseason with Cole Reagans, this year at the trade deadline with
Michael Wacha.
Yeah. But they're all the same decision.
So how many times? And I'm a big believer that when you set sail, you can fire somebody before 5 years, but you need to have conclusive. It needs to be like, okay, we're absolutely going in the wrong direction. But when you set sail with a general manager, it's a 5-year trip. Now the closer you get to 5 years, the more information you have, and the easier it is to say we got to change the course, right? But how many times can you make that decision, come back and disappoint in the season, and continue to be the guy to make that decision?
Well, I mean, I wrote this after the trade deadline that, they put more pressure on themselves with not making any trades at the trade deadline that were based on the fact that maybe they could look 2 years down the road instead of just next year, is because you're putting yourself out there and saying, okay, you said you're going to be competitive next year. Like, those aren't just expectations, whether they're internal or external. It's how you built your entire roster, is to be competitive next year. So the pressure's on next year, to me, to be the team you said you are. Otherwise, you have wasted the potential of Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo for what they could get you, because you've got Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha pitching a lot of games this year. And you still, even after these 8 games, have the 3rd worst record in the American League. So I understand there is a difference between losing 106 and losing 92, but I think it's more razor thin than they probably would.
How much of a difference is there between losing 92 and 71? what are they? What 86? They've 76.
76, yeah. But see, to me,
is that because it's roughly the same numbers? Like how I think it's a bigger jump there. I think the higher you go, the harder it is to go
100%. But I would actually argue that
because I agree with you. There's not as much difference. Like they're kind of right back where they were.
Well, because
in 23.
Yes, because you have the expectations. In 23, you didn't have the expectations, and so losing 106, I don't think that this is any easier right now. I don't think this is any more digestible this year than losing 106 in 23, because this year came with expectations and 23 did not. And so I actually think it's every bit as disappointing the season that they're having now. Again, even with this 8-game win streak, because I mean their winning percentage before this was like 403 before this win streak started. This was a team that I called it today. In something I wrote, I think they're the most disappointing team in the American League. You can't say baseball because you have the Mets, and I think they're probably the most disappointing team in baseball this year. But
I think the Mariners are pretty disappointing in the American League.
Yeah, but I mean they're still the Mariners are
they're alive.
The Mariners are good.
I think there was a feeling that the Mariners were the team to beat in the West, and they should go out there and it should be theirs.
Mariners are a pretty good argument.
But your point about
they
the
were
Royals
a sexy
is
pick for
a
the
good
World
one.
Series.
Yeah, and like I think even with the Royals losing 106 in 2023, would we have said the Royals were the most disappointing team? I mean, we'd have to go back, right? But I don't think
your point's very valid.
And
I just was trying to think of other teams I would put into that mix, into that conversation. Listen, I would nominate the Mariners, but I'm not taking the role of arguing.
Yeah, Mariners,
for them,
Mariners is a good one though. But my other point on that is, you can certainly argue that, having the stomach to have that kind of year does help your future. And it was the next year that, they're in the playoffs. And then even last year, last year looks, and I think we even talked about this at the end of last season, is we'd view last year based on how the following year went. And if they had made the playoffs this year, then you would lump that in and you'd say 3 straight seasons above 500. Now you look at it and say, it's been on the decline for the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, it is real different, and it gets shaped differently like that. I just, another reason why I would like to see them do something is because they love their guys, and apparently they like a nice flight. Everybody knows where they
flight.
Nice flight. Everybody knows where they sit. Everybody gets along. Everybody knows what he likes the right side of the plane. He likes the left side. I'm good over here. He plays that music on this day. I play that music on that day.
I haven't heard this theory.
No, I'm just because I think that team is way too comfortable losing. Like, and what everybody wants is Matt Quatraro to flip the table. That maybe worked 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, I do think that they have gone so far out of their way to make sure everybody's a swell guy. The date, I think there is a little bit, like what I'm seeing is there's still a little bit of that date more. We can love our guys more than anybody else, which he saw as one of the fundamental reasons why they won in 15. And I think he was kidding himself. The reason they won in 15 was they had an overabundance of top 5 picks, who frankly, every one of them disappointed. But they had a bunch of them, right, that you couldn't get out of the way of. Number 1, Luke Hochevar. Number 2, Mike Moustakas. Number 2, Alex Gordon. Number 3, Eric Hosmer. Number 4, Christian Colon. Number 5 was in there somewhere. I can't remember what missed it. Was Aaron Crow in there? Like, he was 11. But, they had those guys. And then what really was the thing that did it was they were ahead of the curve on let's lights out the bullpen. And really they finally put enough just guys really as starting pitchers that they could get to their failed starters, which they could finally move out of the rotation, and then some good bullpen pieces. But, really, even their bullpen, Wade Davis, failed starter. They got him to start him. That's what they did the first year and put him at the back of the bullpen. Now, I give Dayton Moore great credit because he said at the time of the trade, we know he's a lights-out reliever, but we think he can be a top starter. Because people always like to say, we just got lucky with him as a reliever. That's not true. He billed him as a lights-out reliever that we think we can start with. But, James Shields was their best starter, and he had moved on. So they really just kind of facilitated the game. And then they blew everyone away at the end. And other people weren't doing that, so their swing for contact guys were more effective then than they would be now. Because now everybody's like, okay, well, we'll have the guys that can miss bats. Let's go swing away, and we'll sit you down. And so, and at that moment, the Yankees were down. The Red Sox got in, and the Yankees didn't, right? The Yankees were down, and the Red Sox were.
I don't think that The Red Sox weren't in either one of those.
Then it was the other way around. The Yankees got in one of the years.
Yeah, 15.
Because I used to say both of them were in, and I got corrected.
15.
By somebody over at Kaufman.
They lost the wild
and
card.
rightfully so, because I was wrong.
They lost the wild card game to the Astros in 15.
Okay. So, yeah. So they were around, but they were kind of a reset for both of those.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think there's, I think they've got to graduate away from like I mean, how many teams would still be wondering if Michael Massey's their second baseman? Because it's not solved in this town. I mean,
look, Michael Massey can start if you have a good lineup.
Do they?
Well, it's the same thing with like Vinny Pasquantino. Like Vinny Pasquantino's a great 6-hitter.
Agreed.
It's.
I think he's fine at 3 when he goes 32 and 113.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the way.
But that's his career year, and I think they look at it as like, no, that's him.
Yeah, I mean the way he's hit lately. I mean, that kind of guy, of course, could hit third in any lineup. Going back to what you said, I actually have long thought that the Royals really, like, what they did is more Moneyball than what people think Moneyball actually is, because Moneyball really was not.
It's about finding the unclaimed value.
Yeah, I mean, which happened then to be guys who get on base, and that Moneyball's gone because everybody values on base now more than they did in the 90s.
They claim 2 pieces of value, to your point. They claim the lights out relievers at the back end and a quantity of them, and they claim the make contact, don't strike out guys, because everybody had gone so far towards, we don't care if we strike out, we just want to walk. And so guys would pump strikes. And that was fine, but it wasn't. We said this all that year in 14. I don't know if they're going to get there, but if they get there, they'll be hell on wheels because you only face the strike throwers. Well, now they're not just strike throwers. They're strike throwers that get swing and miss in the strike zone.
Yeah.
So those pitchers walked right into the Royals' wheelhouse. And I think it's proven by the fact that they didn't get there in 13, they didn't get there in 16, and they didn't get there in 17. Because one team started to adjust and load up their bullpen, and so the advantages they had started getting minimized. But there was this perfect, little lack in value of like, well, you're just going to pump it over the plate because you think you got all these guys that are trying to walk. Not us. We'll swing at that strike, and we got some guys that are pretty good at making contact, and that bode well for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
but over the long haul, they were just nah.
Yeah, and that is the Moneyball approach. Now, the thread that I think goes through the now as well is the fact that when you are a small market team, it's not like you have the opportunity to just immediately pivot to the next thing. You mentioned like 16 and 17. You're the team that has to find that edge. It's no coincidence that Moneyball came from the A's, that we're talking about Moneyball being an example of what Moneyball actually is for a team that's in Kansas City. And that's, again, reverts back to the conversation about the last 3, when you go, it's almost like you're covering soccer and you're talking about transfer windows, but, trade deadline, off-season, trade deadline, when those were your 3 opportunities to pivot and perhaps do something different. But, the belief is in the core, and that's why, the pressure's on to be right about that next year, because all your decisions are banking on next year being a year.
I would like to see them just shake it up a little. I mean, I think there is something for a different guy coming in. I'm not saying you got to go get some guy who's been accused of 7 crimes. I'm just saying just get a different guy, get some different people in there. I mean, I do think that that's one of the things. I think we've seen that the Chiefs at times have needed, like, get some hungry guys in there, right? Yeah. And, they're not all Pat Mahomes. They were the hungriest guy no matter how much he's won and made, right?
Well, the Chiefs did it with a coach. I mean, they used an offensive coordinator change.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they were trying to do. But for the Royals, I mean, I just, it's not that I'm trying to get rid of Vinny, or you can move Jack Caglione. I know that sounds blasphemous, but because we all think he might be Kyle Schwarber. Well, yeah, and he might just be a 20-something home run guy that strikes out 200 times, right? Like, that's a subpar defender in right field. Like, I don't know. You figure it out. You're the baseball guy. See over the horizon, make a move, trade a catcher, bring Blake Mitchell up, make it all work, make it all fit. Go get some outfielders that can hit and catch. I mean, they make the outfield look like the riddle of all riddles. Yeah, and I will say stunning. This: Jeff Passan, I did not realize he said there is a dearth of right-handed hitting outfielders. They're just, he said everybody's looking for them.
Yeah, I mean, and even the guys that got paid the last couple off seasons, it's not like you'd say, okay, the Royals should have gotten that guy.
Right. And so I do get it. It's harder than it used to be, where it seemed like every team had a Jermaine Dye, or at least a guy who could become Jermaine Dye, or a guy who was Jermaine Dye, that 30 and 100 right fielder. And there aren't many of them now. So I definitely get that. But, I just would like to see them continue to be aggressive in trading.
Yeah, I mean, last offseason, I really thought that they would move Chris Bubic, and that would be an example of a trade that hurts because he was a guy who made the All-Star game the previous year, who you were counting on being a piece of your rotation. This year, but that belief last year was based on the fact that it looked like going into the season, of course this has been untrue, but it looked like going into the season you had extra. And this year, I just where's the surplus on the roster?
And Bubic did ultimately get traded for not much, right? And who do we know was going to get traded before that? Brady Singer. Who do we know is going to get traded before that? Will Myers. You want to know why? Because they trade the guys that they kind of get sideways with. They got sideways with the long toss program on John Lamb and Mike Montgomery. Or was it Mike? Yeah, Mike Montgomery.
Yeah.
They were dealt. Okay, Danny Duffy, he was here. Like it's kind of like that's my thing is like we can pick out who's going to go. It's like they're our guys.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going. Chris Bubic, it became real clear that he was either the guy that's like, no, I'm going to play it out to the end and get paid. Like, okay, well then he's got to go. Well, then you're not trading from a position of strength if it's certain guys that you're going to move, right? If they'd have moved Cole Reagans instead of Brady Singer, they'd have moved a better guy, but he's been up and down. But what could they have gotten? How much better could they have gotten for Cole Reagans than what they got for Jonathan India? And since he was third or fourth in the Cy Young, how much has he really given your organization? And who thought he was hanging 200-inning seasons, 175-inning seasons, 150-inning seasons back to back to back to back? Didn't you know you were on borrowed time? Any fantasy player did, because we've all been there and done that. The guy who thinks Jacob deGrom is going to hang 185, you're a dumbass. And he's having a remarkably healthy season, and he's still going to hang about 150 this year. But they settled, well, no, this is who it is. Like, well, you're not playing the math anymore. Like, go on down to Daniel Mack's office. See what he says.
Yeah, I mean, again, all the proof of this, I feel like came out this year, and I think they're waiting until next year for.
Do you think they learned the lessons?
We'll find out in the off season, like whether or not they truly, because
doesn't matter what they say now. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, there's an element of speaking a certain. There's a lot of reasons why you want your guys to believe that you believe in them. You certainly don't want to be advertising to the rest of the league as we're really desperate to have this position or this position or this. But I mean, there's other reasons that you can say that, but we'll find out this offseason what. And look, there is one element where having like Seth Lugo and Michael Walk on your roster makes a lot more sense, which is you're willing to spend a lot more money.
I want to talk about Lane Kiffin. Your thoughts on whether or not he's going to succeed at LSU. Missouri has to deal with him. He's got a fun quote out there. Sam McDowell is with us, columnist for your Kansas City Star. He's brought to you by our friends at All Weather Decks, Kansas City's best. If you're looking to build a great outdoor theater to watch some football, new deck, patio, screened-in porch, let All Weather Decks go to work for you. They did a great job for me and my family. Love watching a game in the screened-in porch. All Weather Decks can do that for you. Go to allweatherdecks.net and relax.
All right, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Who was the first reliever to win the MVP and Cy Young in the same year? There have been 3.
Well,
Dennis Eckersley?
No, Dennis Eckersley would be the
He
third.
was the most recent, 1992.
Second would have been Willie Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
First would have been Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers in 1981 for the Milwaukee Brewers in a strike-shortened season. Roland Glenn Fingers, 80 today.
80. Does he still have the handlebar mustache?
He does.
That's
And it
awesome.
looks really cool because now it's all gray, and he still has the full head of hair. He looks cooler now than he did
You know
then.
you're an old fart when you're like, yeah, it looks cool because it's gray. Because no kid ever went, wow, look at that. He looks cool. He's got all gray hair.
But he has the kind of gray hair
Showing
like,
your age there,
like,
man.
like Sam Elliott's gray hair. Like, it still looks good, kind of long, and it looks cool.
Straight. It's not like,
Yeah.
bald and stubbly like yours.
or kind of falling out, or just not cool. Sam Elliott looks cool with the gray hair because he can still run
I
his
agree.
fingers through it.
He's got a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy will always look cool.
Sam, your thoughts on guys with gray hair?
I prefer non-gray. But
You gonna dye it? You gonna fight it yourself?
it's not your fault.
Yeah, no. Are you gonna fight it?
I don't know. Have to see when the time comes, I guess. I may be in Curtis's boat before yours. I don't know. We'll see.
You think baldness is
Yeah.
your battle? Not.
It may be. We'll see.
I tried the Tony Soprano slick back thing for about 3 or 4 years. I'm like, yeah,
Did you
that's-
really?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not working.
Any pictures?
See,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I've
I
got
can
many.
find some.
I've
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
many.
It wasn't working. I'm
Well,
like,
Curtis, you need to have a gold watch and a chain on.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
and a pinky
that,
ring.
That completes the look.
But
Yeah,
you've
the
got
pinky
a very
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
like
It's
it's
my
smooth. You have a-
head's
It's
Well,
a,
hang
it's
on.
a very
Hold
normal.
on.
It's a very normal shape.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we covered the gold chain and the watch earlier when he's like, I don't have a credit card
Yeah.
because I had a credit
because
card.
I had a credit card.
You can buy solid gold watches on
Oh,
the
yeah.
street for $15.
That's
For
right.
sure,
That's
for
right.
sure.
Completely real.
But someone said, "Why don't you try to, take the guard like a number 3 guard?" I said, "Okay, let me try that." I was like, my head's pretty decent looking. It's
Sure.
no odd angles. I'm just going to take the whole thing down. Now I can't remember the last time I do miss the haircut though. I'm jealous of you, envious of you when you go to get a haircut.
You
It's
like getting your hair cut?
I thought it was because it's like the one time someone can just kind of fawn over you. Wash my hair, cut. It's just kind of cool. You sit in a chair
God,
and someone.
I hate getting a haircut.
I like.
Because you can get them.
Yeah, because you
and
get 'em.
you get them all the time, and
Yeah.
so it like becomes like, oh God, I got to do this. I got to fit this into my schedule. But when you don't ever get to get one,
Yeah, you can just sit in a chair and have someone.
I'll tell you, like
fawn over you
during
for 20
training
minutes.
camp, when you go to
What-
St.
the-
Joe every
what
day,
was the
you
guy's
cannot
name who
find
cut your
time for
hair?
a
Hang on.
haircut.
What was the guy's name who cut your hair last time?
Actually, it was a woman,
Oh, okay, I think we found out. I think we figured it out.
Kelly. There's a place over off of Belinda where we used to work.
Don't ask a question that you don't know
closed-
the answer to. I knew
closed
the
down
answer
now?
to that question.
No, my
I know
hair-
why he
my-
misses the haircuts.
Well, if they relied on me, it was closed down. But yeah, there's some truth there.
How much you save by not getting your hair cut?
Oh, thousands.
A lot.
Over the long haul.
A lot.
You find someone who's good at
It's been 20
for the
years.
haircut, of course, when you have hair.
Yes.
Because yours is
Yeah.
that's gold. That's gold.
Yeah, I moved away, so this wasn't entirely accurate, but I had the same woman cut my hair from like when I was like my first haircut, like 3 or 4 until like through college.
I was about, I think about 3rd grade till literally lovely lady passed. Till she passed away. I was like, and then I was in no man's land.
Okay.
I don't know how I got through Vegas. I literally would. I think I would fly home and get my hair cut.
I could see you being very particular. You don't cut my hair like, what was the first woman?
Oh man, what was it? It's been a long time. Hang on. Cindy.
Okay, I could see you saying this isn't how Cindy does it. Moving on to the next person.
Oh
moving
God,
on to the
yes.
next person. Moving on to the next
Syracuse
person.
was a nightmare too. I would only get my hair cut when I came home. I got like a couple haircuts there, and I'm like, oh my God, who are these jackasses? It was awful. Syracuse and Vegas were tough days. Because I literally was fine to like, okay, I'm going to be home in 8 weeks. I'm going to go a little shorter now. It's going to be 8 weeks till I'm back home. Give me an appointment for then.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And then I just have to grin and bear. I do not remember going to anyone twice in Vegas or Syracuse. And that's 7 years of my life.
Yeah, I could see that.
Rough go. Now, lovely Susie, fantastic. She ever quits, I'm screwed. So she can't quit.
That's basically like, especially once you get to middle age, you have to just get people that you like who are younger than you, doctors, dentists, hairstylists, everyone who's younger than you, so you can outlast them.
It's a switch when you head into the doctor. You're like, "Aren't you playing ball with my kid?"
Yeah.
You want cough? What? Like that's so unnerving. Yeah.
There's me in 02.
Just not getting away from it.
Isn't that something?
Look at the look on his face.
Pretty terrible,
it's a picture
actually.
from the TV of Curtis sitting off to the side of Trent Green in postgame.
Do you know what that was?
Turn it this way,
What happened
Curtis.
that day?
Delete that.
No, I like that picture. I'm not fine with that picture. That was the day of
kind of demonic.
Yeah, that was the day of 99. That was the day Mark Bowrichter
went
went
for
99 against the Chargers.
Yeah, let me see that again.
No,
I don't see any hair in that picture.
yeah, no facial hair either.
So when you said slick back, you really meant
Yeah.
slick side.
Yeah, well, it kind of starts right at the very top. It was about here. Because I can grow hair to about here.
It was
screen's
just
just cutting it off.
Yeah.
then.
It was just north of Nova Scotia.
It was
That's where it started.
as soon as the screen cuts off is right where his hair started.
In fact,
just missed it.
There's me at doing the KCPT telethon.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Hang on. What year's
hang
this?
It would have been about the same, about 03, maybe 02, 03, 02.
Okay.
Yeah, much better situation you got going now.
Yeah.
By the way, Sam, if I asked you to quickly find me half a dozen photos and videos of yourself on your phone,
Like,
could you pull that off?
how old is that? 20?
2002, probably.
Yeah, 25 years. No, I don't have anything that old.
You were born 3 years before it.
They're just on your camera roll.
Yeah. This kind of guy kind of have an idea. Go back to the beginning and find the older stuff. Somewhere I have my junior picture, which was the peak of my cool long hair phase.
That wasn't the picture we saw, right?
No.
No. Is this the one with you kind of bending down to give a hug to a gal next to the car?
No.
Not saying I've seen his whole photo roll, but I can play the hits for you.
True. There's been some variance.
I am right about there's a photo that I'm describing that's exactly that, right?
I don't think I'm.
Or maybe it was at the gal in Chicago and there was no car.
That was
okay.
that was been about 96.
Not the
down on the
peak.
plaza.
Not
No.
the peak of
No.
his long hair.
No, that was. But there is a good one. Well, I'll find it. At some
Okay,
point.
I look forward to it.
I had the same conversation with Leabo. Like, I think it was during the draft, and all of a sudden he was playing his high
Gruff
school-
Ruffin.
his high school.
The band was called
his high
Gruff
school
Ruffin.
band.
I think it's an Independence Raytown thing.
Could
That's what I
be.
think it
Could
is.
be. I've got pictures of me on stage playing drums. A picture.
Same conversation.
Yeah.
Just had
Same-
this
same thing.
conversation like 4
Playing-
months ago.
Playing Panama at the senior talent show.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Those are the moments. Those are the moments. All right. Well, I don't have time to play this Lane Kiffin cut unless we break here. So let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Lane Kiffin. They're out to get him now that he's at LSU. We'll get Sam's thoughts on that next. playing Dolly Parton's biggest hits. She passed away today at age 80. Another one. This one sounds like a little more modern, but what was that? Did she cover this, or what was the deal? What happened, Kyle?
Yeah, she covered it. You nailed it.
We started with some momentum. He was going to play Dolly Parton songs, and it lasted about like 2
I
breaks.
just played one.
Yeah.
2 breaks. 1 break?
One break.
She
I played one.
more had songs she wrote covered by other people.
Yeah, you could have played the
Will
Whitney
Always-
Houston.
I Will Always Love
That
You.
was her tune,
Yeah.
you know. Happy Birthday. She wrote Happy Birthday. You could have played that a couple times. National Anthem. She wrote that. Could have been patriotic each time.
Coat of Many Colors.
Yeah. So there you go. I want to play for you Lane Kiffin. Do we have enough time? Or we still not have enough time? This is Lane Kiffin. I may tell you to pull it down along the way. But basically, he's going after the NFL guys that are getting cut. The Big Ten passed a rule today. You can't do that. The SEC people are griping about it. Here's Lane Kiffin talking about it on ESPN today.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts of it that I don't like within that. I don't think professionals should come back to college sports and college football particularly. But in this instance, this is not professionals that have gone played seasons or just, randomly file an injunction in a state to become eligible. This is part of a specific class that was ruled wrong by the NCAA that was supposed to be 5 for 5. So again, there's a lot of information on this that's not necessarily out there, that over 100 athletes in multiple sports were cleared and said, you can go play, whether you signed pro contracts or not, whether you participated in training camps or mini camps, you are allowed to play. And that is the court order. And so I think in that, as you think back to all the different court orders of great players that were granted, whether that was Diego Pavia or now Trinidad for a 6-year, we followed all those. All court orders have been followed. So I think you're going to get in a really interesting situation if now, as a conference, you start to say, well, we're not going to follow this court order that's been issued. And we're going to say that these kids that the court says can go anywhere, we're going to say, no, you can't. That's some issues there, Pat.
All right. I get it. Like, what is, like, this started by them basically suppressing what was obviously coming for years, them being all of college football, that you're making all this money, you need to pay the people you're making it on the backs of. And I likened it earlier. I said, I guess I haven't said it. Maybe I'll say it later in the 5 o'clock hour, if you know what I mean. But like, they just kept holding it back and holding it back and holding it back, knowing full well you had to be a moron to not know. Or I got extremely lucky, because for decades I was like, they're going to have to pay these kids. This is what's going to happen. It burst out, and now the problem is that they didn't just start making a little bit of money and a little bit of money along the way where they could kind of tailor the rules and keep with it. No, we went all the way to 40 years down the road. Now we're trying to figure it out. And a lot of people are trying to put the lava back in the volcano that's erupted. And, I don't understand. This is, to his point, there's one class, the class of 22, that they tried to say they gave the 2 or 3 classes before that a 5th year because of COVID. And now they made it the new rule. So every class after that is going to get 5 for 5. All you got to do is be like, okay, yeah, we kind of screwed that up. 5 for 5. Here it is. You're all in. And that's what these courts are doing. The NCAA should have done it. The schools should have done it. I don't know what the purpose of not doing it was. And so now the courts are saying you can do it. And Lane Kiffin's like, if I don't recruit them, someone else is. They can either beat me or they can play for me. I'm going to go get them. Just let's go. Sign them up, guys. Like,
yeah, I actually thought he just should have stopped with what he finished with. He just should have said that's the court order.
Yeah,
like, that's it. It's under the rules. I'm playing by the rules. I don't think you should try and convince us that these are not guys who have been professionals because they've been in NFL training camp.
Sure,
like they've been professionals.
But what's the difference between being in an NFL training camp and being paid $2 million to be in a college summer camp?
I don't think there is much. And look, NFL teams are going to add to their roster late in the season. I mean, Major League Baseball teams, we just talked about the trade deadline at the onset of this. Like, they add to their roster. But again, like, don't try and convince us these guys haven't been. They have been. Just say it's the court order. I'm playing by the rules. Because, like, once you look to college head coaches to, like, invoke the morality of it, they're going to follow whatever's going to help them win.
Yes. That's why it's up to the rules makers to make the rules.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. Sam, great stuff. I'll talk to you tonight on our Red, Gold, and Bold.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, how many Missouri Tiger pitchers have won 100 games in the major leagues? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Tuesday. Still to come, Shahan Jayaraj will be with us. College football insider, national college football writer for the CBS Sports. Does a great job. Snappy dresser.
Mm-hmm. Haberdashery.
Yes.
Aficionado.
And coming to us while still on leave, just had a baby in the family. So there you go.
Fantastic.
How about that? Yeah. So looking forward to talking to him. Shahan Jayaraj, we'll talk some college football with him. Coming up next, first let's hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't get to this earlier, but I like this cut. This is Dave Tobe talking about the two misses from Harrison Butker. Was asked if there's anything in common.
The only thing that we emphasize and we looked at is that, number one, I mean, the game wasn't over, so you got to keep your mind. I mean, you still got to make a possible game winner. I mean, just because we made a huge field goal right there, you can't let up mentally. And then the other thing was you got to stay aggressive on the short kicks. You kind of, you hit a 69er, then all of a sudden now you're hitting an extra point, and you have to do the same things. Stay aggressive. That's what we talked about. I mean, he kind of was tentative on it, kind of just trying to place it in there. And then when he missed that one, that was weighing on his mind, obviously, for the next one, it seemed like to me. But he did the same thing. He kind of was tentative. But, we worked at it on practice, yesterday, and we just keep working on it. We got 15 days till we even get to our game week, 15 days before we get to the game week. So we got plenty of time to keep working on this stuff. But I was really encouraged with that long kick, though, for sure.
Compliment sandwich. In with the long kick.
Mm-hmm.
He began his earlier answer was about the long kick. He said the good and the bad. Take the good, take the bad.
I mean, I get listen, he's up there, he's asked a question.
Yeah.
What's the similarities? What's going on there? So he's going to answer, right? He didn't volunteer this information, but Harrison Butker's not 22. This is not a rookie.
No.
Right? I'm curious if, is this a little late in his career to still be, like, it seems like for 2 or 3 years now, it's like, well, I'm collapsing the knee, I'm not collapsing the knee, which is I'm bending the knee. Like, we're still
he had that weird thing
trying to
on
find
the follow through. Is he the back leg? Is he bending it? Is he not? Is he touching?
And this is all coming immediately following being given the biggest contract for a kicker.
Yeah.
So
this is year number 10.
Like I just there is a level. Listen, Dave Tobe's paid to coach the special teams, and the most important person on special teams is the kicker, and you need to get the kicker right. Right? And he needs to be a weapon and needs to be able to put points on the board. So I'm not saying, like, if he's got to spend time. No, I mean, this is what ought to be happening. So I get that. But, this is a contract year for Harrison Butker. He's cheaper to cut than keep next year. Usually with kickers, you sign them with the idea that we're going to keep pressing on here with this guy. But, like, if you can't get the mechanics down, are you going to keep going with this?
Makes it a lot tougher. I mean, 86% last year, 84 the year before. He was amazing in 23, 94. He was 33 of 35, but he's missed 9 field goals over the last 2 seasons. And one of those was from inside 30.
And listen, you're not going to make them all.
No.
Right? I get that. But he is, what percentage-wise, you now are expected to be 90%. Is that fair to say?
I think so, yeah.
That's what we expect from a kicker?
Yeah.
And so he has been the last 3 years, 87, 84, 94 back in 23, 75 and 22.
Yeah.
89, 92. For his career, he's 88.
Last 4 seasons, 86.
So, that it needs to get beyond that. The distance is great. There's no doubt it's a weapon, but it's a little bit of a showpiece. You need what happened there. The ball, 3 seconds, end of half.
Yep.
Or end of game.
I thought that.
But you're not lining any of that up. That's all great, but you will never, ever make that attempt in the middle of the game because you won't give that field position to the other team. So it has to be the last play of a half or game for you to take that kick. So what's going to matter is not missing those 48-yarders.
Because those are going to happen a lot. And I thought the first kick, the 69-yarder, was like that might have been the greatest place kick in the history of football because it was right down the middle, and it could have been good from 75.
Yeah.
But then the penalty moves him back 10 yards, an extra point, which he doinks, and then pushes the field goal was never good. It started outside the right upright, and it continued.
All right, let's get Spag's thoughts on what he thought of the defense. Here's Spagnuolo when asked about what he saw with Mansour Delane.
Yeah, it was good to see him out there after going through, you guys saw him jogging in and out of the huddle, and I think he felt good. He got to stay in the huddle and actually do a play. I mean, he had that one quick trigger on the rocket screen, which was nice. Other than that, he really didn't get a lot of action. But I think for him, it was just good to be out there, get the pads on.
Yeah, I agree. Looked explosive. You saw the talent that's there. Hopefully we'll see more of it in this third preseason game. Hopefully we'll see a lot of it against the Denver Broncos. Peter Woods, Spagnuolo asked what he's been working on the most.
Him and I were talking a lot yesterday about his footwork. There was one play, and I've talked to him about that often. And he's a conscientious guy, and so he wants to do well, and he's been working on it. But there was a play in practice yesterday where he kind of got his feet tangled up, and it gets him in trouble for a big, powerful guy. I think they can make some plays for us, but probably footwork more than anything.
Okay. There's definitely going to be techniques. I mean, you can't just maul guys. Like, that's what happens a lot. All the big guys need to get their techniques down, and sounds like the footwork is part of that for him. Felix Anudike-Uzomah, former first-round pick, former K-Stater, really has just battled injuries his entire career. Blew by the right tackle of the Bucs. I watched the quick cut of this again last night, and the only thing available was the Tampa broadcast. He beat the right tackle.
The home team.
Yeah, John Gruden. It was Rondé Barber on play-by-play and John Gruden on color.
Weird.
Yeah. And he beat the right tackle for the sack. The left tackle, John Gruden called the fourth-string left tackle. So let's take it with a grain of salt what's going on. But he beat the right tackle. I don't know where he sat on the depth chart, and I didn't go back and look it up. Spagnuolo was asked about the night Felix had.
I thought he had a really good game overall. I mean, a week ago, I think Jaden Hicks probably played the best of the crew. I mean, you could throw Felix in there for this one, in this particular game. Not only that one play, I mean, he almost had another one, I think the very next play. But that quarterback, they have another athlete out there, a quarterback. Every team's got one, right? And they make you miss. But I think Felix has done a nice job coming off the injury, didn't get a lot of reps in the OTAs because of it. And he did a lot of catching up in training camp, and I think he's found his way into getting a little bit more comfortable. I think the sack is always a confidence builder, right?
Slow your roll there, Steve. The Tampa broadcast said, well, Browning's not going to beat you with his legs.
Yeah, I don't know what.
They don't see quite as much out of Browning's elusiveness. But I do think that follow-up play to the sack, there were a lot of guys. Peter Woods was getting loose on that. R. Mason Thomas was getting there. They had a lot of guys coming after Browning on that, and that was one of the better plays, too. I thought it looked like, okay, they are going to be able to get some pressure for multiple guys. R. Mason Thomas looked good. Jaden Hicks got home and created the fumble by getting there for the sack, so it definitely looked better. We wanted a pass rush. We saw more of it. Hopefully we see even more of it. Other side of the ball, offensively, let's hear from offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. What did he see in Khalil Benson?
I thought Khalil came away and played a decent game. Could he have been better? Yes. Okay. Well, I know we're playing him all over the place, giving him an opportunity to show what he can do and put it on display. I got to say this on the side note. There was a point in time I know he was dog dead tired in the game, and he gave up a strip sack, and you don't celebrate this, all right? But did you see when he picked that damn ball up and took off and ran? I'm like, if you play the game like the ball was in your hand, we got a chance, okay? So that's the effort and energy that I need to see from him every single day. And, basically to get out of this critical thinking of overanalyzing and overthinking.
Got beat for a strip sack, but he picked up the ball and took off.
But is the overanalyzing and the overthinking why he's slow getting off the line of scrimmage? Because that's a problem.
Yep.
That's becoming a consistent theme, and that needs to stop.
He's become just reaction.
Well, I think he's looking in for the snap. He's he's maybe not sure of the count. Did he forget what the count was, and so he's trying to watch the ball? And
then add to that the silent count stuff that Reed talked about on Tuesday or Monday.
Best case scenario for Patrick Mahomes. Pat was asked, what is the best case for a return?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the best case scenario is. Honestly, I mean, never came off an injury like this, never had been in this situation before. So all I can do is prepare myself the best way I can, and that's just getting the most out of every single day and staying on top of the rehab process as well as going out there and practicing at a high level. And so I think if I do that, whenever that opportunity comes, I'll be ready to go.
My assumption is we're not going to hear when he's going to play until maybe even game day. They might take this right up. Make the Broncos prepare for a running quarterback and make them prepare for Patrick Mahomes and give him no tape to look at how he plays. I think that's the plan. I think he will play week 1 against Denver. How about making some hard cuts? Mahomes was asked about cutting in practice.
Yeah, I try not to. I try to not make those hard cuts and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm a competitor, and it's like kind of just takes over sometimes. And so you want to still prove to yourself that you can do it. And I've been able to do that in certain spots, making quick cuts, making reactionary cuts, which I think is the biggest thing when it comes to this, and felt great doing it. And so I think more than anything, it's just about working throughout the pocket, finding the comfortable spot in the pocket and making the throws. And I feel like I had a really good training camp doing that. And the other stuff has kind of come natural to me. It's not like I'm thinking about it, though. It's just kind of happens.
Okay. This one's interesting. Mahomes said practicing makes the knee feel better.
Honestly, the more we practice, the better I feel. I feel like I think sometimes when I take the days off and you don't do anything is when you might feel some soreness or whatever that is. But when we kind of started getting in the groove of practice, it's like every day I came back to practice, I feel even better and even better. And so I got to learn through that process. And so now the days off, I make sure to come in and do some type of mobility, some type of work with Julie, just kind of get the range of motion going. And I think I found a good spot now that after some of these days off, I felt better and better. And so that's stuff I'll have to learn throughout the year. But I think it's a positive that the more work that I do, the better I feel.
I would agree. If you're not yanking our chains, you know, I mean, yeah, definitely. I think that's a good thing.
Can be a bad thing.
Yeah. Scary moment at Bengals practice. Wide receiver Jamar Chase says he's fine after a scare at practice today. Appeared to injure his knee. Chase landed awkwardly on a leaping attempt and immediately grabbed at the knee before limping off the field. Chase said he suffered a little hyperextension to his left knee, but that he could have returned to practice. The Bengals opted to remove him and be a little precautious.
It did not look good. He went down and stayed on his knees, hands and knees for a few seconds.
A Bengals reporter actually tweeted out he was at the radio tent with the headphones on talking to our guy Mo Egger, and he just said, "I'm fine."
Did he give that look he likes to do?
No. I didn't see a video. I just saw a picture.
Okay. Well, nice job, Mo. Royals and Jays back at it, 6:07 tonight on Royals TV. Lugo for the Royals. Scherzer. Might hear his name again sometime soon.
Probably.
Scherzer for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays minus 126, KC plus 116 in this one. So the Royals go for win number 9. Do they get it?
Yeah.
Kyle?
Oh, I haven't been very confident in Lugo recently. I'll say yes, though.
Okay. Yeah, what the hell? Let's be positive. We're all in.
Yeah.